Hello, welcome to Two Mic Minimum. As some of you might know, Sean and I were in San Antonio to do some shows and interview some comedians, and that trip was made possible by Mind Twist Comedy. Mind Twist Comedy is a comedy production company that produces shows all over Texas, most notably the Teachers Gone Bad comedy shows. It is run by Irma Linda Ruiz, who is a comedian we have interviewed for this podcast. Mind Twist Comedy is also the official comedy booker for Kickapoo Casino in Eagle Pass, Texas. Please check out their website, mindtwistcomedy.com. You can check them out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can send EPKs to mindtwistcomedy@gmail.com, or you can say a hello email or just one of your shows email. But you can also check out their website for their shows. They do a lot of shows in San Antonio, but they do shows all over Texas. So if you're in Texas and you want to know where a good comedy show is, definitely check out Mind Twist Comedy. Anyway, enjoy this episode. Yeah, I don't want to do an intro. I'm so sick of doing what I normally do. Okay. I thought it would be charming to say
hello.
Yeah, I thought it would be charming. But maybe it is charming and I'm just doubting myself because I got roasted that one time.
Listen, it was a spot on. It was a good impression by me. That's the hard part.
By the way, my friends from high school, they listened to that episode where they roasted where you guys roasted me and they were like, why the fuck did they call him a date rapist? Like, why?
When did we call you a date rapist?
Did you not do that?
No, I never called you a date rapist.
Well, no, Jimmy did.
Oh, he might have.
I
only listen to what I say. I only listen to what I say on these things.
They were so off put. They were so off put by like what makes them think Peter's a date rapist? And I just explained to them like, look, when people are bad at roasting, we make hack jokes, just saying they're fat, they look creepy.
Yeah, you go with the obvious punchline.
Yeah, you know.
Oh, that girl's yeah, shit like that.
But
you're a slut. You're a whore.
It was kind of funny because like I'm so used to that world, but like they were like, "Oh my god, why would they do that? Why would they call you that?" At all?
Oh, yeah. Normal people have no idea what the fuck what we're about. You know why? We haven't introduced ourselves.
Exactly.
He's Peter,
and he's Sean Barry.
You should have timed that better.
But oh wow,
we are
Two Mic Minimum. Okay, we're
finger touching.
We're touching tips right now.
Thing,
we touched two tips right now.
We gave ourselves a handshake.
We touched two tips right now. One of them was our index finger, and I'll let you figure out what the other one was.
Yeah, baby. You know what that finger's about.
Anyway, so yeah, we were in another part of the country for a good while.
As we've been hyping up in the last few episodes, we finally did our trip down to San Antonio.
San Antonio, yes. We went there for a weekend, got on some shows, got to interview some really, really cool local comics, had a lot to share about that area.
A lot of great podcasts.
So
interesting stuff happened to us. But before that, I think we're going to do our plugs at the top because the next few episodes are going to be a little different than usual. Guys, I have a show this Saturday at the. Oh shit! I should looked it up. I'm pretty sure it's the Cantina Royale in Williamsburg, Brooklyn.
Yeah, Sean's first city show. It's been
a couple weeks.
Month
or two.
What was the last show you did that wasn't Broadway?
I did one at Greenwich Village. I don't know, March.
All right, getting back in there. Getting back in there, though.
Yeah, well, it's been a while.
That's cool.
I mean, technically, the comic
definitely check out Sean Barry's show. It's a comic produced show. I love. Yeah, there's no internet in my basement.
I think I'm gonna do a new set this weekend.
At the show?
At the show, yeah. I'm going to try something new.
Go for it.
He asked me to keep it a little cleaner than usual, so I have some new jokes I wanted to
Yes, be bold. Okay, so my AC unit turned off.
Thank you. So if there was that loud noise, so we're now...
it's off. But
now going to sweat for your pleasure.
You're doing a comic produced show. I love comic produced shows, so that's going to be very cool.
Yep. Muhammad Gay, follow him on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I do it. I feel like I had one other plug. Let me look at my notes real quick. Oh God, I'm not.
But anyway, I don't have any.
Yeah. And tonight, when this episode comes out, guys, come out to Levity Live to watch our friend Alex Kolar in the finals of the Empire State Stand Up Showdown.
Yes, that's gonna be cool. Alex Kolar, friend of the podcast, friend of us, friend of the world.
Friend of everyone. He's a great great freaking guy.
So is that it for your plugs?
That's it for my plugs. You got any plugs?
No, I'm just at the comic strip, like on any given day when I can get up. But,
and if you're the company that I just applied to, hire me.
Mm-hmm. But actually, if you want to see me, I found out I can get you free tickets. So
that's cool.
Yeah, definitely. If you know me personally, reach out to me. I'll get you. You'll still have to pay an item minimum, obviously, but I can waive your cover charge, and you can see comedians who are better than me before I go up, because you can actually see the pro show, which is really cool. And Leslie Jones was there on on Monday. She did a surprise spot when I went up.
I think she lives like 2 blocks from there.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out. And we'll tell everyone on the podcast her exact address. Because she doesn't have any problems.
I mean, one of my friends who didn't who I went to see after the show, she was like telling me, do you know where Leslie Jones live? I'm like, I could stalk her. Yeah, and figure it out.
I don't think it'd be that hard for us to find her, honestly.
Yes, find her and then put a note on a door being like, we'd love to have you on the podcast, 2 mic minimum. Mm-hmm. Yes. But anyway, it's not about that. It's about San Antonio, the awesome comics who we got to meet in San Antonio, the awesome comics we got to interview. I'm going to do a few shout outs right now to comics we got to meet: Justin Byers, Joey Smith, Joshua Kabaza,
Wayne Cummings.
It's
another guy.
Right.
It's on your list. It's
a
real
on
name.
my list.
It's a real name.
Wayne.
That's a good idea. I have a list. I was going to shout them out.
Well, I was outed as someone who forgot about Wayne, but Dallas Van, unforgettable. Couldn't forget.
We'll get into that a little bit.
Couldn't forget Dallas
Van. We'll get into him in a minute.
Shout out to Alex Reyes. Tried to get us some stage time on Saturday night. Couldn't, unfortunately, but
we tried to.
But really cool of you, Alex, to try to do that for us. Huge shout out to writer Ashton, the other tall guy in Texas.
A lot of tall fellas.
Yes.
Actually, no.
Wait, no,
there's
not
a short town.
Yeah, no, it's a short. I mean, I'm pretty sure I was towering over everyone. So seeing Ryder there, I was like, oh, hey, what's up? Another tall dude.
What's up, dog?
Yeah, they don't grow.
We gotta make sure to tag all these people on the post.
Yeah. They don't grow vertically in Texas. They grow horizontally.
Horizontally, baby.
I have a great photo from that our trip, which is just. I'm not sure if you. I think it was on your Snapchat where it was just you drunk at Jokesters and you said, I'm the hottest guy in Texas.
Oh, yeah. No, I said that a lot. I stand by that statement.
Yeah.
I was maybe not in Texas, but definitely San Antonio.
Did you say that on one of the shows? I feel like you did.
I think I said it on every show.
I say that on every show since then.
I haven't stopped mentioning it to people.
Being like, hey, look, go down to Texas. You'll see I'm an Adonis there.
You really will.
Complete
Adonis.
Hard
for me to not advocate that.
And shout out to James Wesley for taking some amazing photos of us. Like,
those are really good.
Photos?
Thank you for that. Check out his Instagram. We'll plug because he's a photographer too.
Nihilist View, I believe. Check out Nihilist View. No, honestly, James, if you're listening, that is the best stage photo I've ever gotten.
Wow. That is the shots fired up shot.
From someone from Texas. Fine.
I'll stop doing photos for you.
You are.
For next time, I'll charge you for it.
That is, no, it was just like it wasn't the photography in particular, but it was like the pose I was doing and like the
I purposely try to pose you poorly.
So don't go.
You should see some of the captions I use.
So don't go to Sean Barry to take your photographs because he doesn't want to get a good pose of you.
You should I don't know, hire me.
Yeah, no, Sean Barry is one of the best in the New York City area.
Me, JT Anderson, and that's about it.
And that's about it for your options.
That's only the person I know that does it.
Well, let's just say that if you're in the New York City area, hit up James Crowley or
JT
Sean Barry.
Sean Barry, or
mixing up my co-host with someone I don't co-host this podcast with. And shout out to the Los Angeles comics we met.
Hot Medusa Comedy.
Hot Medusa Comedy. Check them out. They produce shows in the LA area and also around
all over
the country. Shout out to Mary Beckett, Suwan Weaver, and Anna Gretz.
Anna Gretz. A German.
Yes, a German woman.
Comedian. We should talk to you more. See if we can get on some shows in Germany.
Fuck, I would love to do. I'd love to do shows in Germany, honestly.
I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something after the mic.
Yeah, and also we gotta say a huge shout out to the guests who devoted their time to do these dumb interviews with us: Tori Poole, Patrick C. Huerta, Irma Linda Ruiz, Chris Grulon, and Larry Garza.
Yes, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it.
Yeah,
the trip was fantastic. Was above my expectations, but granted, I always have low expectations. But we really did have a great time. Thank you so much. Guys, thank you again.
And you'll see that Larry Garza is attached to this
episode. Our interview with him will be a part of this. Please, it's a great interview.
Yes,
it's really fun. Really get a chance to know the guy. You can check him out all over the place. We do his plugs on that part of the episode.
Please stick around to hear that. My friend joked around with me being like, "Oh, sorry, I don't have time to listen to your podcast."
That's fair.
Which is like, it was a joke though, because it was like, no, I don't have time to just sit around and do nothing. Which is
You don't do nothing. Listen to it in your car. Listen to it
exactly.
in the gym. Like you don't just like.
If you commute,
I don't just go to my living room, sit down, press a podcast, and sit there.
Well, that's what I meant by doing.
No one does that.
By doing nothing. I mean, we spend our time doing nothing. As in, when we commute, we do nothing. We commute, but the act of doing. You can fit a podcast in almost any aspect of your life. Like if you want to ignore your parents at the dinner table. You can
listen to 2 Mic Minimum.
You can fucking blast 2 Mic Minimum.
If you're making sweet, sweet love to your partner of your choice of partner. You want to put them in the mood? You turn on Big Berry Podcast. But if you already listened to all those episodes, well, fucking, then listen to 2 Mic
Then you
Minimum.
can go to 2 Mic Minimum. Please DM us if you are blasting 2 Mic Minimum during sex, and tell us what position you're doing.
You know the position.
What? Okay.
I've not. No.
I don't know. It's the.
We'll cut that part.
I feel like no, we don't have to cut that part. I feel like there should be a sex position named after you.
Oh, there is.
The Big Berry sounds like something that should be done in bed.
Big Berry is when you fill her vagina full of Cheetos, and then you eat all those Cheetos, and then you crunch them up, and you spit them on her titty. I'm stopping. That was bad even for me. That was gross.
Yeah, I was not.
Well, I'll think of a better one that's not.
That's almost as bad.
You know, the problem is I listen to Nicole Byer's podcast, and she does like gross sex shit like that. That's her opening, and she usually comes up with "You can do this to me."
That's almost as bad as something I heard called a hot pocket, which I don't want to.
I know what a hot
pocket. Yeah,
is.
exactly. That's
fucking shit. If you're under the age of 14, Google what a hot pocket is.
But anyway, let's talk about our trip to San Antonio.
I thought we'd just go through chronologically, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we get on United Airlines. Shout out to United Airlines.
We can start even earlier than that. We come in, we pick you up. I come pick you up.
You pick me up.
We're flying out of Newark. We get there. We get there early. Get through. Peter has TSA pre-check.
Yes,
I'm a commoner.
Because I mean, it's not hard to get if you're white, and I don't think that. I think that's just true. Fair. I think because I got it my TSA pre-check like somewhere in White Plains. I just went to an office and I filled out a form, and they were like, "All right, you're good." And I'm just like, "Look, if I was any other race but this, you'd probably do an extra interview or something." There's no way it's this easy.
I tried to get my pre-check, but then they listen to my podcast and
they're like, "This guy seems like a threat.
This guy's a problem.
We got to make sure
you need to make sure he gets a cavity search at least once a month.
We got to make sure his shoes are off before he boards an airplane.
That's the thing is, I come to an airplane, I don't wear shoes.
Yeah.
People don't like Andy Richter. Fuck Andy Richter. All right, did you see this on Twitter?
No.
This guy, some other guy didn't wear shoes on his plane. Andy Richter took a picture of him and blasted him on his Twitter. Fuck you, Andy Richter. That's the move. All right, get comfortable on an airplane. You are in a giant bus with wings that can die at any second.
Mm-hmm. Well, as long as your feet don't smell, it's whatever. So Sean flexed the no shoes on the airplane. I mean, he was wearing flip flops, so he took them right off as soon as he boarded.
I come to be comfortable.
Yeah, he mooched off my privileged economy plus because I'm like a United Plus member. I don't think I'm a member, but
plus I was one seat behind the plus, and then the other person didn't show up.
No one was in my row, and I was like, row.
So they have flights the way they do it. Oh, I want to shout out to our one new listener. Who we met at the airport, whose name I forgot. But thank you, lady who subscribed to our podcast. You were very nice.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for overhearing us and being like, are you guys comedians? And our egos flared up and we're like, fuck yeah, we're comedians.
We have podcasts.
We have a podcast.
That's what we have.
Yeah, she subscribed.
Well, that's supposed to be bully people into subscribing every time.
Well, you bully people. I'm just like,
and our numbers,
and you should,
and our numbers go up.
And you should. I can't physically bully people. Well, it's just I
think the best part is I look like a physical bully. But
exactly.
I'm a verbal bully. That's my move.
I had a whole row.
So I get a fucking middle seats, which is just. All right, so the new way airplanes should work is it should be they weigh you beforehand and then they measure you, and the biggest person gets aisle. That's the only way this makes any sense. Like that's for everybody's sake though. Yeah. Like no one if it was two skinny people next to me it's shitty for them to both have this. Like, I get the aisle. That's the way it should be. And then I was sitting next to two larger women as well, because we're going to San Antonio. And thank God the other side, like me and the woman next to me are just scouting the seat next to Peter. And
two seats. I had two seats available.
Next to you. And we're just like looking at the clock, waiting for the door to shut. Because like, no one else gets in. We're hopping out of here. and thankfully, no one did, so I got to hop and sit next to Pete.
Yeah, so from my perspective, I had two seats available to me. I'm like, I have a nice row to myself. This is going to be a lovely flight. And all of a sudden, this fat guy starts sitting next to me. I'm like, yeah. Well, here I am.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I like how
I went to the gym.
I like how we talked about our trip to San Antonio. We spent like 5 minutes talking about our flight.
Yeah, people like the full.
That is true. No,
we had the most jacked pilot I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh, he was an Adonis.
He was cut.
He was the sexiest
I wrote down
fucking man
his
I've
name.
ever seen.
I forgot about it until this very second. You know what his name was?
What?
Captain David Cruz.
David Cruz.
Like, there was no way that plane was going down.
No, yeah. I had full trust in that guy.
I had never felt more comfortable.
We were in a holding pattern, and I was like, this guy knows what he's talking about. That's a guy who, like, he doesn't make you gay, but, like, he could just take his shirt off.
You bounce up a little on the Kinsey scale.
Yeah, exactly. If he stripped a little, you'd be like, oh.
Yeah.
You know, no matter how straight you are, I don't care how, like, you know, insecure you are about your sexual orientation, that guy will make you a little gay.
Man,
Sexy
something
man.
in your groinal region is going to move a little bit, no matter the gender.
So we touched down in San Antonio. We had immediately
our
to
number one move, baby. We're going to an open mic.
Yeah, there was an open mic available on Thursday. Jokesters 22. Sign up at 7.
Like a little bit before 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
San Antonio time.
Yes. And the signups are at 7. Show starts at 8.
So like, all right, we're like good, and then we like look it up. It's like 15 minutes from the airport, drive. We found out everything's like 20 minutes away in San Antonio. It's the way they designed their city. The entire driving scape's like 20 minutes.
Their city is built around a wheel.
Yes.
And you just get on this wheel, which is this highway that just goes across the city, and you get off wherever you want. It's just this giant It's the whirlpool of Texas of cars and shit. But anyway, we go to Jokesters 22. Get on the list at a nice number 15 and 16.
No, I thought we were 16 and 18.
Oh, I don't.
There was a space between our
know.
names, which not great, but you know, it's an open mic.
And we didn't even sign ourselves up.
We're new to town. We had who signed us up?
Irma signed us up because I asked her to, and when she got there early, and the way it was evident that was one of those mics where like everyone's flocking to get on the list.
Yeah,
it's right away.
It was one of those things like we got there before the mic actually even started. By the time we arrived, so we were able to go out and get
some food.
Get some food next door.
I got to taste their tap water, Texas.
Peter was very, very concerned about the tap water.
So I get water and I take a sip and I was like, "What the fuck? This does not taste like water."
Yeah.
I expect tap water to not be great when I'm out in New York State or New York City area, but like I tasted this and I was just like, I'm convinced this is not water. And what I found, and I took a few other sips, and I realized, oh, this tastes like Crest toothpaste. And I was like, oh, they put fluoride in their water. Lots of it.
Here's the thing. I really do judge people based on their teeth. It is a big thing. Like, it's not, you don't even have a perfect smile, which, by the way, Peter does.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is good.
I like braces? My smile. I had braces for 5 to 6 years, a long time.
Yeah, but you can tell because it's just like mine. I have a pretty straight smile, but it's not like that perfect straight. But whatever.
No, I love showing off my teeth. I do it all the time. But yeah, the water was shit.
Yeah, Peter was very upset about it. Like, this is
you got to get bottled water. So it's just too much. I mean, is it really that effective putting fluoride compared to just like brushing your teeth?
Bad their teeth must have been beforehand.
Oh my god! But is it also like a way to destroy other chemicals too? I forgot.
I think it's a good way to do it. I remember I read something about it. It's like it's actually fine
because they love fracking in Texas.
That sounds about right.
we gotta destroy all these chemicals that are seeping into the water and making them flammable.
Okay, so
we're making our water flammable, so we got to put fluoride in it.
So after that, we head back. It's like right next door. It's back to Jokesters 22, and for our first open mic in San Antonio.
That's my first open mic out of state. My first time performing out of state. I performed in Connecticut, but that was practically New York, given how close it was to New York.
You ever done Jersey?
No. I've done Rhino, if you want to call it Jersey.
No,
but
that's in New York.
I know, but like how parts of another state like basically are treated as like another state.
That's true.
It is what it is. I haven't performed like outside like a fucking 20-mile radius of New York State.
Yeah, that's that.
New York
that's
City. And was there anything notable from that, Mike?
From the open mic? Oh well, let's start off with the easy ones. So we get there and it's just an empty room.
Mm-hmm.
Jokes is 20 you actually a really good, well-designed room for comedy.
I like that room for comedy.
They had like
cool room.
They had an elbow bar at the top, like where you enter.
Yeah.
But then the rest of it is like nice seating, like open. Like the stage is dead center, well lit.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's good, conducive to comedy. And like it was like if I was designing a room, it'd probably like a small room. That's kind of what I would go for. It also had open windows, which were kind of nice because then people could walk in and be like, "Oh, I'll go watch."
Yeah, the comedy was very visible. And the windows, I mean, depending on where you're sitting, weren't too distracting. I think the most ideal scenario is so the stage was like to the windows were to the side of the stage, so it wasn't like the windows were behind the stage. I think the ideal setup is if the windows are just completely in back of everyone, so people can walk in and the audience member can't really see what's going on outside the windows. But I think it's a good setup. I mean, it definitely gets people interested. Like, oh, comedy in this area, comedy in Texas. We didn't know it existed there. That's the point of these interviews. We're showing that there's comedy elsewhere than New York, Chicago, and L.A.
Yes, there is. And so we get there, and we get the classic open mic of the host goes on too long without calling somebody else up first.
Yeah,
and guess what? The host also was bombing. So
it was between the first and second comic. They were trying to plug something, but he also did a little bit of time. But it was a total of 5 minutes between the first and second comic, and I just look at Sean. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah,
we're so spoiled at Lucy's where Bill Cannon's just all right, next one up.
Yeah, Bill.
Which is how a bike should be.
Let's get this show.
Let's go.
Going.
I was like, this guy's gonna try to fit in his whole hour in this mic.
I know, just
in various
really
parts of it.
An hour he does not have.
And then he gets into us a little bit later on in the mic for not laughing.
Yeah. Well, all right. So we go up. So we actually see some of our favorites.
Oh shit!
That
all
might
right,
be
keep
loud.
going.
No, I think we're okay. The AC just turned off. Everybody.
Yeah.
We actually see some people go up early, like Patrick Huerta went up. He was pretty funny.
Yes.
We saw like if you followed our Instagram, I posted all the people that I think were notable.
Joshua Cabaza, very funny, was at the mic.
Well, I was just saying everything in order. Then Irma went up, and and she actually had some good jokes. It just like the audience was like, oh shit, and like we're just looking at each other like, boy, it's good to be home.
It's one of those mics. I mean, here's the thing that we learned is that like I think
open mics are universally shitty.
We went there like the comics are just the type of material they were doing, the presence they were doing. It was the same as like a New York City mic. It's obvious that we're all influenced by the same people. We all have similar ideas of what is funny. I mean, I kind of thought there might have been some cultural difference going into that mic, but there really wasn't.
Yeah, no, it really wasn't. It was just that porn and dicks.
Hey, it's a major city, and here's a bunch of 20-year-olds.
Yep, a bunch of 22-year-old white guys
being like, "I'm funny. People should listen to me."
It was more diverse.
It was more diverse because San Antonio is a diverse city.
Yes, we learned that. Peter didn't care for that, but
no, I did care for that at all. You gotta come up with a more original roast than me than just being like, "Oh, this guy says the N-word a lot." Well, I feel like that's always
because that's the thing is it works because it's so counterproductive to actually who you are. Yeah. I can actually go real roast like.
All right. Well, we don't have to get into roast right now.
Let's keep going. I don't want this to be too long because we have an hour-long podcast.
Yeah.
To add to this. So.
So
then Peter goes up.
Oh yeah, I go up. Oh well, we got bumped like 5 times.
We got bumped a few people came put their name. It's a whole.
And then like the mic list shifted around a little bit. It was a weird how they just not in order they were.
It was one of those. Peter goes up. Peter's like, I'm gonna rock this.
I
mic.
did. I had that.
He's
attitude.
like, I'm gonna talk about how shitty their water is.
Well, no, that wasn't my intention from the very beginning.
You told me that joke. About the water, and I'm like,
and you were like, well, you said that was very funny.
I thought it was funny.
It was funny.
Peter goes up and just eats shit.
Yeah, no one was caring for me at all. What the worst part is that like people knew that we were from the podcast, and like there was kind of this expectation, and also New York comics. We had that that thought people had of us. And I was like, well, I don't want to do shitty. And I just started doing shitty. I'm like, fuck, Sean.
Yeah.
Why did we come here? They don't like us. They know we're a bunch of nobodies now.
Nope.
But yeah, I eat shit, and that's when I get into the water thing, because I'm like, you know what, fuck it, let me just try out this joke.
It turns out that you're bombing. The best thing you do is shit on the place you're at. It really is fun.
Yeah, fuck this place that you guys probably love, and I've only experienced for an hour and a half.
They do love it down there. All right, so then after that, we meet up with Irma afterwards. We're like, all right, well, let's just
shout out to Mind Twist Comedy.
And she's like, listen, we're gonna go out drinking, baby. And I'm like, fuck yeah, we are. And she takes us to this cool bar called Karaoke Dads.
Karaoke Dads,
which is our newest. That could have been an alt title for this podcast.
Karaoke
Dads.
That is a good name for like just a comedy group, I think.
Right, that'd be a good improv.
Yeah.
Improv troupe,
just like a sketch troupe.
We can steal that.
Yeah, if we make a sketch troupe, we'll call ourselves.
We'll call it Karaoke Dads.
Karaoke Dads. And then we
sang the night away.
Talked to some Texans about gun control.
Yeah, somehow we caused this huge gun control debate by accident because we got offered to go to a gun range about 4 different times.
Yes.
Which, if we had more time, we totally.
And we had to turn them down, unfortunately. I've never shot a gun before, and I really want to.
And I haven't shot one in probably 5 years.
And
I'm like, I want to see because I remember my skills were pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm not like one of the. I'm like, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I wouldn't A+.
And then, well, we weren't even talking about gun control, but something with that in our conversation.
We were drunk.
God,
right?
we were drunk.
We were shooting the shit.
And then like 3 people who we were kind of talking with go off into their own side discussion about guns in school.
What to do, guns in schools.
And we're just hanging out being drunk. I'm like, why are these? Yeah. Is this what they do in Texas? They want to spend a night out drinking, talking about guns in school. And that night was the beginning of
and I finished off with me going out with Jesse's girl, but some guy stole my song, Mr. Brightside, but it's fine. And then that's our night. Then we go back to
get drunk, get no sleep.
No sleep at all. We get in at like 3 a.m, right?
Yeah, and then I slept like shit. I woke up at like 6, I'm pretty sure, and couldn't go back to sleep.
I didn't stay too much later than that.
We stayed at Irma's place. By the way, if you're ever in the area, reach out to Irma because she does offer an Airbnb for comedians.
I was expecting to sleep on just like a dumpy mattress and some comics like living room.
Yeah,
and be like, all right, whatever. They'll just tough it out for the week. But we get this beautiful house. There's a yard and a pool and like
it's a house that smells of success.
Yeah, it's just it's just a nice house. It's so nice. It looks like they shoot porn in it, like one of those.
That was the thing is because it's
this
like
person's doing well.
It's literally a guest house, so there's no sense that people are living in it. So it's just weirdly empty, and that's what I said to Sean. I was just like, this looks like a place you'd shoot a porn at.
Yeah. Porn.
There's like a high ceiling. There's like a hallway that's like very empty.
Yes.
You can see someone like coming down the stairs or something. So we stay in a king size bed. I of course was big spoon. Sean was little spoon.
Goddamn right. I like to be cuddled.
And then we woke up the next day and we had to go interview people.
Well, no, we had a lot more time before we had to interview people.
Yeah.
So we got a chance to go down and check out San Antonio, and we want to shout out Irma's son Antonio, who was just the world's best tour guide, like ever. Like he knew every possible detail about San Antonio we could ever possibly know. The best places to go, interesting facts, figures, whatever, what have you. He was just a cool guy to hang out with.
Yeah,
we got to eat some good food with him, and he was so accommodating to us. We also remember we went to Lucy's Diner down there. I just went.
That was where we got lunch, right?
No, that was. Well, like lunch, breakfast,
yeah.
Where they had the 3-pound cinnamon buns.
Yeah, it was one of those like world famous places. It's so funny. We walk in, the first thing I see is that giant cinnamon bun. This cinnamon bun's like the size of I don't know, like a PlayStation.
That's a probably
like
app.
Maybe
like
twice.
PlayStation 2, the original, really bulky one.
Yeah. And the first thing I see is that at a table of 2.
Yeah, like and the one guy clearly looked like he was just got there to have coffee.
Yeah. I'm like, I guess this is what they do in Texas. They just order a giant cinnamon roll, eat like a tenth of it, and they're like, okay, shoo this away, get this away from me.
Yeah.
And then they give it to the orphan children, I guess.
Pretty
Probably
much.
not. But Yeah, that was a cool place. That's where we found out that like everything was bigger in Texas. Like that's
because this guy, they gave us like waters at the beginning, and like they're like you go to the movie theater here and you get like a large like that's what their like standard was. And I'm like, it's like one of those cups that you could almost like you almost had to lift it with two hands like a baby bottle, which I thought was fucking we had
really
to do
funny.
that.
Then we go to the Alamo.
Oh, we got to see the Alamo, baby.
The Alamo.
Pay our respects.
Never forget the Alamo.
Never forget.
9/11 and the Alamo.
The Alamo's a little more important than 9/11, honestly. Quite frankly, there's still something there at the Alamo. that was dark. Dark.
That's why it's hard to never forget.
Yeah, that's true.
And then we
check out the Tower of the Americas.
Tower of Americas. We got to go up the Tower of Americas.
We got to also take the best 4D experience ride I've ever in my life.
Yeah,
Skies over Texas.
At Tower of Americas, they had their little 4D movie theater where we got to.
Where you sit in these seats and they just jerk you around for 20 minutes straight of for the most unnecessary just throwing you around. It was good. I also made the mistake of wearing black jeans, like an idiot in San Antonio at 100-degree weather. 'Cause I'm a fucking moron.
And I wore shorts for like the fifth time this summer.
I can't believe every comic in San Antonio doesn't wear shorts on stage. Like that's like just do it all the time.
Well, actually, at the open mic, were a lot of them wearing shorts, or was it pants mostly?
I saw it was mainly like jeans and pants and stuff.
Yeah. I bet if there's like a day mic there, they wear shorts.
No, you have to. It's fucking disgusting out.
It's crazy. The shorts on stage debate will never always rages on, no matter where you're from. So we go up to the Tower of Americas. We see all of Texas. Like that view is something else because like the way the wind, it's like a circular building, so like you go up and you just see sky and land. Like it's so sprawl because given how much of a range of vision you have at the top of that tower. I was like, wow,
whoa, baby.
This state is flat. It's just a flat state.
Yeah.
And lots of blue skies, and Sean got some great pictures up there.
I'll be posting those. They'll probably be on my Instagram by the time this goes out.
Also visited the Japanese tea garden.
Oh, that's one of my. I took a lot of great pictures there.
Formerly the Chinese tea garden because it's been around since before World War II.
Well, yeah, I think they said it started like the Depression era.
Yeah.
World War II happened, and internment camps.
Yeah.
So they changed the name so people wouldn't destroy it.
Interesting place to have a Japanese tea garden.
Eastern,
exactly.
Asia thing.
Just a place that has a mix of Southern culture and Latino culture.
Yeah,
we're gonna put
but it was nice and zen.
Yeah.
So then we arrived to our destination to do some motherfucking comedy and podcast.
Yeah, we had our first show at the Blind Tiger Comedy Club, which is
before we do that, we get to experience the magic time machine.
Yeah, so the Blind Tiger Comedy Club, it's a cellar room.
It's located beneath the Magic Time Machine
Beneath
restaurant.
the Magic Time Machine. Now, the Magic Time Machine is probably the most upsetting place I've ever been to.
Peter did not care for this place.
So, the Magic Time Machine, it's a children's restaurant. It's a children's restaurant where you go in and you're greeted by some fairy tale movie TV show character.
Yeah.
Someone who's really into character because they're really committing. They're really committing to the fact that they're performing for children.
If you listen to other podcasts, you will literally hear us talking about it mid podcast.
Yeah, you'll definitely hear it about it. It's just a sad place that's sad.
It's
parents.
A sad place where people's acting dreams went to die.
Yeah, and sad parents have to take their.
There was birthday parties and stuff and noise, but we had a good time. We did some fun podcasts.
Yeah, so if you're listening to Chris and Irma's episode, we recorded that in various nooks and crannies of that place because that place actually has a lot of nooks and crannies. Surprisingly, for a restaurant,
it was a literal labyrinth.
Here's
the thing: we don't advocate eating there.
No.
But like if you see one, I'd go in and check it out just to see what we're talking about.
Yeah, just like just tour the place. I mean, there's like no one there waiting to seat you. We kind of just sat wherever.
We just walked in and we didn't ask permission to do the podcast. We just started doing it.
No, I just like assumed I was like, oh, I'm with the Blind Tiger. This will be cool.
It was the most amount of white
yeah.
privilege I've ever flexed on.
Yeah, well, like as long as you don't look homeless, you're fine. Like that's why if I'm ever in New York City and I'm at a Starbucks. If I'm ever in New York City or I'm at a Starbucks, I'm like, can you give me the bathroom code? Like, look, I know I don't look like I'm gonna fucking shoot up heroin.
Yeah,
I'm
always not with heroin. It's just that they shit on the toilet bowl.
Well, it's also
that's worse. Like, heroin, like you just have to throw out a needle. They shit all over you. Somebody has to clean that up.
Yeah, Yeah. So, but anyway, that's the privilege they have. So Magic Time Machine, check it out. Don't eat there. The food actually smells really bad.
You know what you should check out is underneath the Magic Time Machine,
the Blind Tiger Comedy Club, which is a cool fucking cellar room, low ceiling, very small stage, very intimate room. You can pack the audience in there. That was such a cool club to perform in. And also really to see a show.
We got to start out. We did our podcast, a couple podcasts beforehand, and then we saw the Hot Medusa comedy show, which was an all-female lineup, which is nice and rare, quite frankly, to see. Yeah. And all the women pretty much killed it. You know, we shouted all of them out earlier.
Yeah, shout out to Ducky from the.
Oh, we could get the two women that weren't on it, we didn't mention earlier. Kelly Stone and Kim Curley, who were Kim Curley was just incredible. She won the best comic in San Antonio competition earlier that year, and it was really easy to tell. She was very funny.
And shout out to Ducky because he enjoyed himself at that show.
Oh yes, Ducky. There was a guy in the audience who I guess is a fellow comedian.
He is a fellow comedian
who heckled more than I've ever heard anybody heckle, and none of the comics called him out. Because the woman would be like, so I went to the bank today. Oh, yeah, you get him. You tell him what that bank is like.
Yeah, he was like,
and that was not racist. That was an accurate depiction.
No, so he enjoyed the show a lot. He really enjoyed every comic.
He really thought it. He was like, I'm a groupie.
Yeah, and exactly.
He was so in
like every time he heard something he'd just go, yes.
Yeah, we are not kidding at all. Yes! It was very funny.
Tell them pussy jokes. That's what he said.
Tell them pussy jokes. Yeah. And I'm like, that would be a good T-shirt for them. We should recommend that. We should trademark that and sell it to them.
I think the headliner Kim Curley called him out eventually.
Yeah, it was getting ridiculous. Like
it got to a point like at first when he was doing it, I was like, all right,
shut the fuck up.
But then it got to the point where he just started like commenting.
Yeah, on the most minute like when you just say a sentence in between it was whatever.
You let him have it.
Yeah, you tell him.
Let him have it.
You tell him.
We joked that the comedians could say anything to him and he'd just say yes. He'd yes. Like you have a tiny dick.
I just shot and killed your kids.
Yes. Woo! You tell him.
Oh, you got me.
Tell them pussy jokes now.
Tell them pussy jokes.
But so we were on the midnight show. Well, actually, first off, but before that, we got to see a live recording of Larry's podcast, Comedia A Go-Go.
We got the second half of it because we were recording a podcast, but it was Comedia A Go-Go's
please check them
public
out.
access comedy. It was really funny because it was like a live show, live recording where people got to come on and like interact with them. They had like segments that would be like, what's the last time what makes you scream? And then people had like interesting different stories. One guy told a really funny story, which we won't take. Listen to his podcast. You want to hear the funny story.
And then we were on the midnight show, which is
and also at this point, we haven't eaten since like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon,
dude.
And this is now midnight.
And
I've had a steady diet of Jack and Cokes and Heinekens. So I'm just I'm feeling it, Mr.
We
Krabs.
woke up hungover. We were walking around the hot heat for hours, going on tour, and then we had to go to the club, interview people. By the way, we didn't order food at the restaurant because we were told it was terrible.
Yeah, we were told they were bad.
There was no like bar appetizers either, even though there was a bar at that place, which was
the bar was
so we haven't eaten since like 3, I believe. And after like the podcast ended, I realized like, oh my God, I am in no shape to like perform.
Yeah, because we're
in a comedy show right now.
It takes a lot of energy to do a podcast.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, fuck, this is like going to be an important show. I want to do well. I shout out to Chris Grulon. We drove to Whataburger, which was like going to be my first time trying Whataburger, supposedly.
Yeah. This was basically while I was performing.
But then I come down with like the drink and a burger back to the club. I come downstairs and then the host gets really mad at me because he tells me it's like, it's a Texas state law.
You can't bring food into another facility,
or like like a covered drink or something like that. And they just told me to get it out of here. So I didn't end up eating the food that I was going to eat.
Peter was a lawbreaker. They hid my fries, thankfully, while I was on stage. And then on stage, so we'll talk about my time on stage. So I go up and I do. I'm fucking tired. I'm like I don't have the same energy I usually do. And I think that's why my jokes weren't landing particularly great. I mean, they were doing fine. I wasn't bombing by any chance, but it wasn't the high I was trying to.
Yeah, you went on very shaky. You actually did go up and you were like,
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no.
I was a little tired. But I got into my groove a little bit. But there was this guy we met earlier at the bar who gave us this whole fucking spiel about Texas. Like, oh, Texas this, Texas that. Like, shut the fuck up. It's a state. No one fucking cares.
That's not how they see it, though.
It's really not.
It is not how they see it.
They really take too much.
They pride themselves in being Texas almost more than they pride themselves in being American,
Yeah,
which almost
I know.
makes
It's
sense with their history because it used to be their own place.
Yeah, I'm aware, but it's been 300 years and you weren't alive for it.
300 years. I think it's been like 150 years or 170.
No matter what,
180.
they weren't alive for it.
Yeah.
They don't know.
Yeah, so that's where you get into.
So
towards
then
the
I
end
got
of your
to
set.
then I got to go. I got to go kind of full Bill Burr and just shit on San Antonio a little bit
Yes.
first because this guy heckled me, and I'm just like, I just turned like, the fuck's the matter with you San Antonians? And then I was like, I'm the hottest guy here, and I'm like, yeah. But it was fun because honestly they laughed harder at that stuff than they did my material. So it was fun to get a chance to riff a little bit and work on just being a performer.
Right. Sean leaves. Larry goes up, starts roasting Sean.
Yeah, I missed all that because I went and took my fries and ate it like a dog outside.
Yeah. Then I go up, and I do pretty well. I had a shaky opening, but I was able to bring the audience back towards the middle of my set. Same guy heckled me before, just saying, you need to watch. Like, I had a premise that it was just the setup was like, I think porn is too mainstream, and he was just like, you're not watching the right porn. And I asked
he did
him,
say that,
and I asked him, what porn do you watch? And he just did not answer me at all.
Like, all right, you're a liar.
I'm like, yeah, exactly. It's porn that you are embarrassed to share with anyone. That's the right porn. But no, I had a fucking amazing time at the Blind Tiger Comedy Club. I had a great set. It's good. It's a good feeling performing in that room. It really is one of those rooms that like it facilitates like the off the subway kind of vibe of like the comedians, like the comedian. It's like a term I'm trying to coin, like the off the subway, like where it's like comedians who like they're going up without the fanfare of being a comedian. They just like kind of look just
popping in.
They're just like normal guys popping in and talking about stuff that's relatable to everyone.
Yeah, that's. I think,
and that room facilitates that vibe, and I think that's
cool, fun, chill room.
I think that's cool.
And then we're like, after that, we still have another podcast to do.
Yeah, we interviewed Larry.
And so Larry, which was a great podcast.
Yeah, so if we
really good. You're gonna listen to it in a minute, so it doesn't matter. But the problem is, this girl I met the previous night DM'd me.
Oh shit! We're gonna get into this
during the middle of the podcast.
Yeah.
And people, you may think I'm a scumbag due to some of the things I've said, but I'm a goddamn man of integrity because I did not text her back until the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
So I sacrificed one of my comedy goals for you people.
And left her on read. Left her on red. No, that's...
Which is fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
No,
it's
yeah.
fine.
Look,
Right, then we go home at like
okay, this
4 in the
person
morning.
knows who she is. You can still DM Sean.
Yeah, it's fine.
Pop into his DMs. Make sure everything is spell checked first. Check with your English professor, and then
Yeah, no, like shit, yeah. All right, it's fine. It's okay.
It's fine. We get home at like
3:30 in the morning again. We're
Yeah.
fucking exhausted.
And then we get another 3 hours of sleep.
I think I got a little more of that. No, I didn't.
We get another 3. I
very
think
long, tiring ride.
in total with our trip, I got a total of like 6 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Really, really bad. So, next day we do the interviews with Patrick.
So yeah, we
Tori.
got to Joe's Pancakes that were, I think, a renowned place for
Fucking
breakfast.
Great breakfast.
Good breakfast. Oh, I gotta sneeze.
Oh. Achoo!
Boo!
That was loud.
That was right.
Oh my
We're
God.
gonna have to keep that in the podcast.
Oh my
That was so hard. That was a hard sneeze.
That's so.
Yeah,
Woo!
we got to Joe's Pancakes.
That was a genuine sneeze right there. God
And
damn.
we had like this weird middle ground of time waiting to go do podcasts and stuff. So we just walk around Texas
just walked
for a
around
minute.
in 100-degree weather,
Like just
as you
100
do
degree.
in Texas.
And we're like, oh Jesus, this was a mistake. But no,
Um,
we get there. We do another more podcast with Patrick.
and
See Huerto. We do his
Tor-
podcast,
Tori.
the Barbacoa Core podcast,
and that is out right now.
That's
so
good.
go
'Cause then
check that out.
He got to flip the interview skills on us. And we got to have fun and riff. We got to talk about my feet for a little bit.
Got to smell his feet.
Got to smell my tasty. My
Yeah.
feet were gross, but I didn't realize they were in the hot sun all day.
Hey, if you have a foot fetish, you want to see Sean Barry's feet, you can go to the
If you want a foot fetish and you want to cure it, look at my feet.
No, Well, go to the Barbacoa Core podcast Instagram. They have a photo of Sean's feet.
We shouted that out on our Instagram before, so you should be able to find it.
Yeah, I refused to upload that photo to our Instagram.
Yeah, that was wrong. Our fans would have loved it.
But if you want to go see it, you can check it out at the Barbacoa Core podcast.
Then we do a podcast with Tori Poole in the same area. It was another great podcast, a lot of fun.
Then we go get dinner.
Then we go get a nice little happy hour with her and her husband, Jason, who's a really cool guy.
He's a tattoo artist.
He looked. Imagine a tattoo artist. That's it.
Yeah, it was just covered.
Cool, chill dude.
Awesome.
Great. By the way, great fucking happy hour.
Yeah.
$1 margaritas.
It was $5 margaritas.
I drank them like
it was $1 beers.
$1 beers,
and
right.
that's what was cool.
So $5 margaritas were fantastic. And also like cheap mussels and lamb chops. It was good.
Fuck yeah. If only we remember the name of the place, but
we got a lot down. We got
a lot down.
We're fine.
And then we go to our second show.
Our show,
which is the brewery show at Freetail Brewing Company, and that is packed with a lot of young folk.
That was like almost 100 people.
Yeah, no, it was like the room, all the benches are taken. There's people standing. Sean and I, we both do some time.
I got to lead off. This time, I actually just kill. I didn't have to shit on San Antonio or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
We just do. We do that.
Even though you did have to open up being like, I'm from New York, so I'm not saying I'm better than you.
Well, I like to establish that I am better than
to establish my dominance from being born in this place.
I'm an alpha male. I like to make sure people know I'm the alpha male.
Alpha doesn't really exist in society, but you can believe that.
Adam ruins everything.
It's not. That's not just Adam ruins everything. It's the guy who created that. Just go with the
joke.
fact that you're a beta. Go with the fact that you're a beta.
People know. People understand the joke. God damn.
Anyways, but I go up. I have a good time. I see Tori laughing out of the corner of her eye. That's always a good feeling.
Yeah. When the other comedians laugh at your jokes, yeah.
Well, also like when the person who like puts on the show,
whatever.
Like when you entertain that person, you're like, fuck yeah, I. So afterwards we go to the bar.
No, we stay at the bar and we drink with what was his name?
I think his name might have been Andrew.
Andrew, nice guy. Fuck.
It probably wasn't Andrew. I think
it was Andrew. I think we followed us.
Oh, he probably did. Fuck. I forgot he did that.
All right. In fairness, we were drinking at that point.
Yeah. Well, he also bought us like all the drinks.
He bought us so many drinks. It was so. This guy just bought us drink. Like, what a nice fucking guy.
Nice dude.
I mean, granted, drinks in there are super fucking cheap. So.
Oh yeah, drinks in Texas.
Drinks in Texas are.
We go to a fucking bar and see $3 for a beer. I'm like, that's not a number at a bar.
I got a Jack and Coke for $3.75. Yeah. You kidding me? I can't buy Little League gum in New York for $3.75.
That would be illegal in New York City.
I know. It would be. You can't do that.
Yeah. 'Cause everything's so regulated in New York City. It would be illegal to give beer that cheap.
So thank you to him.
Yeah, huge shout out to him. Huge shout out to another guy who I don't think followed us, so it's okay that we don't know his name.
Oh, the guy was a truck driver.
He was a truck driver.
No, he did. Shit, because he was like, I listen to podcasts all the time. I'm a truck driver. I need some. Oh, fuck.
We'll shout out. We'll give you a shout out on Instagram.
This was a long weekend.
Yeah, because I only looked up the names of the comics.
We are about to run out of battery real quick, so pause it. We're good. We saved the battery, so.
What? Okay, so we were at Freetail Brewing Company.
We were talking about Freetail. We were talking about the nice truck driver who followed us, bought us some drinks.
Drinks bought to us left and right, get really drunk, and then we go to another bar.
With Tori and Jason again. Oh, shit, you're not coming through.
What? My mic is on, though.
Oh, there we go. All right.
Okay. we go to the bar with Tori and Jason. And that bar was actually right next to Jokester, so
same place we originally had dinner that first night.
We get a drink there.
All coming full circle.
And then Sean and I go to Jokester, see if we can get some stage time.
Just one last wasted stage, like
hell yeah,
like one of those, like, all right, one of those. I'm at the point where I'm like, I'm not dumb drunk, but I'm like, I'm more overly confident than I usually am drunk.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, let's see if we can get on, and we actually get pretty close, and we arrived like 2 minutes earlier. I think we could have, because then the headliner went on.
Yeah,
the headliner who was great, who we just happened to forget his name. Listen, I tagged a lot of comics in pictures. I thought I tagged him too. I'm a failure sometimes, people. Like, that's just how I am. But
yeah, very funny guy. Was able to entertain that bachelorette party that was there.
Bachelorette party.
Yeah.
It's always astonished me bachelorette parties going to comedy clubs, but they were cool.
They like to see people strip emotionally.
They
sometimes.
do, yeah.
That's why they're at the comedy club.
I guess it's a night out,
Yeah.
I get it.
And then we hang out at that bar.
And then it's time
like,
for us to get fucking more drunk because we don't have. Well, we missed a big story. We missed a big part of it with Dallas.
Oh,
Do you want to tell that or?
No, you can tell it.
Okay, all right. So we'll go back to the beginning, back to Thursday. So the first run of the open mic. This guy Dallas Van Peter had messaged back and forth with. He was going to be that guy we stay with on Saturday nights. He's the Airbnb only guys for 2 nights, which is cool, But and he lived pretty close to the airport. It's like, oh, perfect. We'll bang out there after a little night of drinking and we'll get up early. We'll go to the flight. He introduces himself to us by going on stage and being like, "Hey, you're the guys from New York, right?" And they were like, "Yeah, sure." It's like, "Oh, I was planning on raping the tiny one in my king size bed, but I see how big you are, so I guess I can't do that."
Did he say the tiny one?
Yeah, he said the tiny guy.
Oh,
but
you're
not
say
tiny.
The skinny guy. I'm like, no, of course I'm not tiny. I'm like 6'3".
Yeah, and I'm like, also like,
how can you call me tiny?
I don't listen. This guy wild.
I mean, the thing is, I zone out during like every open mic performance.
I didn't. I wasn't paying attention. And then I was like, what the fuck? And he like, yep, he said that, and and like, what a wild move to how to introduce yourself to somebody you haven't met yet.
Yeah,
like obviously he's on stage, so. We can't call the police.
That's the rule.
Like that's It was just a prank, bro. But they're like, I don't know if I want to hang out with him.
Yeah. And then not only that, but you posted a picture of him on our Instagram.
Yeah, I decided to
Instagram story.
because I'm like, that's wild. I'll fucking post that.
Which was just titled, Dallas Van wants to sexually assault me,
threatening to sexually assault Peter, Westchester woke boy.
And then he screenshots it and then posts it on his Facebook
without cropping out the comments. Like, it's a good picture, so I get taking the screenshot of it.
He posted on Facebook. It's like, why would you publicly post
do that? Like, why? And, like, people called me. I was like, I was testing his wokeness. What?
Yeah, because my handle is Westchester Woke Boy. I'm like, yeah, what?
Yeah.
My wokeness? What are you trying to prove? And then someone commented saying, "This is why people don't respect San Antonio comedy."
It really isn't.
Like, that's sad.
But here we are.
This was the first segment of, or this is the first time we did a segment that we want to try out called "Why Would You Post That?"
Why would you post that?
Why would you post that?
Why would you post that? Don't do that.
But yeah, so we were supposed to stay with him, but then we just figured. I mean, I think it had less to do with Dallas, and it was more just like, why don't we just...
The airport was super close to Jokesters, and, I'm an alcoholic.
We're going to be out late.
So we're like, let's just stay out of the bar. We'll bring our shit with us. So that's what we did, and we just drank the night away. I flirted a lot with some lovely, lovely ladies.
Danced alone, and then maybe with someone.
Oh,
I don't remember.
No, I was out there. You reached the point at like 2:00 where I could tell you were drunk, and you're like, I really wish I was home right now.
No, it's like I get tired drunk really quickly.
Yeah, I can tell, and I'm like, and me, my body just keeps going until it doesn't.
Yeah, it just goes and goes.
I haven't blacked out in years, but I was like, if I had like 3 more drinks, I'm like, there it is.
Yeah.
But we were okay. We were nice and safe. We'll shout out the owner, Marcia of Jokesters 22. She was a lovely the hosting of us, letting us hang out there for as long as she did while we were waiting for our flights.
Yes. And then we get an Uber. We get an Uber. Please DM Sean. Spell check, proofread. If you want me to proofread, just DM it to me, and I swear to God, I'll proofread it. And
he probably will actually. So then we just go. We take.
That'd be a great way to steal DMs. Being like, look, I need to proofread your DM, so send them to me, girl.
Yeah, that could be a sketch. Then we take an Uber to the airport.
We're so tired.
And then it's like there's like a seat like right as you enter, and I sit down, and I'm like, oh, I can't move now because I'm that drunk and tired and exhausted.
The airport at 3 a.m. is such a weird place.
And I'm like, my body is fighting because like our flight's at 8. Check-in's at like 7:20.
Like there's actual like migrants in that airport. Like people with Red Cross blankets, and we're like, oh shit.
And then I'm like Peter wakes up a little bit before I do to go through security and stuff.
I never slept.
Yo, you never did? You just left me there?
Wait. It was only 20 minutes before the TSA started showing up, and then people started getting in line, and I was just like, well, I don't want to wait out here. I might as well just go to the gate.
I had to rest because I sat. I'm like, my body can't move now. Like it couldn't. I had to will it. Like I started throwing my body forward because this like group of school kids showed up at fucking 4 in the morning.
Mormons, I believe. They were going to Salt Lake
They
City.
were going somewhere,
so
and
they
they were the
probably
worst
Mormon.
group of human beings I've ever met in my entire fucking life. And I hope they all died on the flight there. Because they were just, I'm not in the mood. I am drunk and hungover already. But I somehow blackoutly go through security just fine. Which should tell you a lot about security. Because I shouldn't be getting on a flight.
Yeah, I'm already at the gate though. I go without Sean.
Yeah,
Sean
he just leaves me. There was a small chance I don't show up.
I mean, honestly, yeah, I
You
probably
would have left me there. I would have figured it out.
I wanted to actually try to sleep on a bunch of chairs at the gate, but they're armrests between every chair. So,
yeah, I'm very good at sitting down, sleeping in a
I'm too tall for that. I can't do that.
Yeah,
I had to
slouch.
I literally stole the handicap seats, which didn't have an armrest, and tried to
and there were a lot of handicapped people. I'm not even making a joke. There was a lot of handicapped people on our plane.
I felt well. So there was actually a point, it was before we were about to board, where there was a person in a wheelchair right next to me.
Yeah,
and that made me get up and just
I need
the spot.
I need
where I was
yeah, I'm an able-bodied person.
I'm an able-bodied drunk person trying to get some sleep.
All right, I'm able to rest a little bit till about 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
I shoot awake.
Also, here's something you should never do if you work at an airport during the night shift. If you work as a security guard, if you work at the gate, checking people in for the flights, never say to people at 4 in the morning, "Good morning,"
that's right.
as they pass by.
They were hard on
It's not
that.
a good morning. It's not morning. We're tired.
I'm clearly either just woke up or I've been up drinking. Those are the only two people that are awake right now.
5 times people came up to me and said good morning, and I'm like, I'm trying to sleep. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to have it be morning.
Yeah, we wake
Stop
up.
It.
I wake up. We check in. Guy recognizes us from the show.
Oh,
at
shout out to that
Brewery.
guy. Yeah.
Really cool dude. Fuck yeah, that was awesome.
Definitely, probably a New Yorker because he was going back to New York.
I would assume so. Yeah, so good for him. It's the Delta flight. I will say the seats on United were better, but Delta's flight was emptier, which is nicer. So there was no one in my thing, and I'm like, fantastic.
You know what? Shout out to Delta.
I didn't see you for like 6 hours. So I'm like, it's either he's here or he isn't.
I was like, you know what? Shout out to Delta because United does not provide free Wi-Fi, but Delta provides free Wi-Fi for messaging.
Oh, really?
And
I didn't know. I just slept the whole fucking flight.
At least there's that because United tries to gouge you. And
yep. Yeah, not great. But, so Delta, I'll call them about even. Flying sucks. But we had a good trip. We had a great time.
Yes. Thank you again
we get home,
to San
we're all safe,
Antonio.
we're good.
We'd love to do another trip.
Yeah, we are going
to
find another trip. I think we can do another one before the end of the year.
Yes,
I think we can. We'll talk about it off mic.
Please reach out to us if you're interested.
If you
in
can accommodate us,
yeah.
We're actually pretty easy to take care of. We don't. Believe it or not, I don't eat that much.
Yes, we'd love to talk about. We learned a lot about the San Antonio comedy scene,
and as you'll see, more scenes. We want to know about more comics' personal lives too, because we got to learn a lot about cool people.
We want to expose.
Because there's a small chance we don't have the people we talk to eventually blows up one day.
Yeah,
we had them early.
Yeah, and then we can leech off their success like a parasite.
Goddamn right. You're
That's why we
right.
did this podcast. But no, seriously, I think it might be interesting for people to hear about your scene and elsewhere in the country that no one talks about because you're in Iowa or something, and people are like comedy in Iowa,
even out of the fucking country.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
We'll go anywhere except for
countries
for who do I advocate
that are
to kill?
Except for countries that
except for Italy and Australia.
Well, I think both
actually
of them are
fine. Australia we got a recommendation.
Look, if you're a comic from Syria,
we can't. Remember the one girl said, "Oh, Melbourne's great for comedy."
Oh,
and
yeah,
I'm like, so just Italy.
Well,
Italy.
So look, if you're a comic from Syria, we'll risk our lives for you.
Yeah,
actually, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah,
we'll show you what the bomb squad's really about.
We'll go to Iraq. We'll go to Syria. We'll go to any country that's currently war torn.
We'd love to do a USO tour.
Yeah,
and be like, and that way. Soldiers fighting we're fighting for this bullshit. God damn it! All right, I think we're good.
All right. Okay, please stick around.
Stick around. Our next, we really want to listen. Next couple episodes are just going to be our interviews.
Yes,
maybe a little intro at the top.
This week it's going to be Larry Garza. Next week it's going to be Chris Grulon and Ermelinda Ruiz, and the week after that it's going to be Patrick C. Huerta and Tori Poole.
Yeah, those will be really great, and then we'll come back after those weeks and be refreshed.
Yes.
Maybe have more plans in place. And and cool stuff to talk about.
Yes, have more guests to interview. We have plans for that. But I think without further ado, please enjoy our very great 1 a.m. interview
With Mr. Larry
Garza. Hey, so are we doing an intro for this one?
Yeah, let's just do it real
All
quick.
right,
Ready?
here we go.
Peter, who are we?
Who are we?
Two
Mike Minimum. I'm your co-host.
It's embarrassing to do.
I'm
in
your
front of
co-host,
people.
Peter Clark Deutsch, the wokest boy in Westchester.
And I'm Sean Barry, and who cares?
Who cares?
Like, that's how we are.
We're not in Westchester.
We're not. We're doing
not
it-
in Westchester anymore.
This is our third podcast of the day, so we are amped. We are in full go mode.
1 a.m. Adrenaline is running out for me.
Peter, who are we with?
We are with another San Antonio comic.
Weird. It's like a theme or
we're
something.
With who I've been told is like the most well. He disagrees because
He got talked up to us.
he got no, but he's well established. But I
Let's just say it. His name's Mr. Larry Garza.
Larry
thank
Garza.
you for being on the
Larry
Hello,
Garza.
guys. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
having me. I
this is-
really appreciate that you guys got my accent so well on the last podcast.
Oh, I definitely know.
That's very good. It sounded
Yeah.
just like I don't
So-
fucking talk like that at all. Like,
so remind
when I
us.
heard the first
Yeah.
podcast, I was like, killer impression.
Yeah.
So-
Fuck shit balls. Yeah,
Yeah,
you can say
yeah,
whatever you
so-
want.
we're not sponsored by
The
anyone.
last podcast
Yeah.
I did,
It's
I
like-
advocated that O.J. Simpson is the most important man in America.
I mean,
Yeah.
he is.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, kill all the white people, right?
I agree. Yeah.
Just started with 2. Like, I mean, keep
Yeah.
on going. Yeah.
No one
Yeah.
misses them.
Jesus Christ.
What? Like
I was joking.
Yeah.
You're going all
No, this is
serious.
what happens
I
when
know.
we record at 1 a.m. We get
1 a.m.
fucking real.
The
Yeah.
Brown Simpsons miss them.
Yeah,
the Goldmans don't.
but
Their son was a douchebag.
Listen, they got
terrible.
a
That's
Heisman
terrible to
Trophy
say.
out of it.
They did.
Yeah,
they
that's pretty
absolutely
cool.
did. Yeah, it's worthless.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so thank you guys for making the trek all the way down to
Yeah.
Texas. As President Trump would say, is a border town. We are
Yes.
7 hours from the border, so
Yeah.
it's really, really funny. But
Thankfully,
yeah.
our president has a real good geological. Thankfully, we're
Yeah.
adding to the country, according to him. We're gonna get
Yeah.
Greenland, baby.
oh, great.
I'm so
he's
excited.
gone
Well,
for Greenland.
he's
He
trying
wants
to purchase
buy
it.
Greenland,
Yeah,
baby.
he's like, we need if we're gonna buy territories, they need to be whiter.
I know, like,
But I don't think they're white in Greenland. I think
They're like
yeah.
Bjork.
yeah.
No.
I mean, I don't think they're anything. I think it's just like fish or
I
something.
think they're
Yeah.
like
I think the population is like 1,000 people.
I think they might be Inuit though.
Greenland?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. Like, I don't know anything about
it's
Isn't
Greenland.
it ironic that Greenland's
Yeah.
covered in ice and Iceland's
Covered in
Well,
green.
yeah, it's purposely.
Did you know Greenland's owned by the Dutch? That's
Is
what I
that
found
right?
out.
I knew
Yeah, I read
that.
that. Clicked the
I
article.
knew that.
I'm like,
All right,
yeah.
fucking
So I'm
Dutch
like-
bastards.
Yeah, freaky
I don't
Dutch
think they
bastard.
don't
Yeah,
do
it's
anything with
Osterberg.
it though.
Yeah.
I mean, Greenland's it's a weird place because it's the biggest island in the world.
Is that
And-
right?
Yeah, and 99% of it is just ice.
Yeah.
If Greenland doesn't have legal weed, that is
Yeah.
a
Just-
crime against just titles.
I think
and
it's
names.
mandatory there.
I think you have to Greenland. Like some
Yeah.
pothead named it. I
Yeah,
mean,
somebody.
geez. Doesn't even have. It's funny that it's like I wonder if it's called Greenland to the locals because that's
Oh, it's
total English.
yeah.
Iceland and Greenland is English. It's like Germany's
Yeah.
Deutschland and German. So
but
what
like,
the
all right.
No, it's probably named something profound, like the song of the people,
Of the
and,
bird.
and the
Yeah,
Dutch, and the Dutch was like, "Nah, you're green."
Yeah,
Greenland."
you're Greenland. I will
Lars
say,
Ulrich
like,
was
listen,
just like you're Greenland.
obviously imperialism is bad.
Yes,
What I will
But
say,
Darth Vader.
I prefer the way we named things. Like I don't want to learn a new language.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
all right,
Like
yeah.
Puerto Rico, the rich port. Why not?
Exactly, yeah,
It's
exactly.
very rich.
Very-
Rich with water.
It's very
Rich
to the
sport.
point.
yeah. But anyway, so it's fun. You're fun to riff with, Larry. But
Thank you.
So you've been performing since 2002.
Yeah.
You started out,
And I'm still here.
Yeah, you started off in sketch.
Yes.
if that's right. With
Yes.
your partners, who now you co-host the Comedia A Go-Go podcast.
That's right. Public access.
Which we just watched a live taping of.
Thank
which
you very
was
much.
Very,
Very,
funny.
very entertaining.
Thank you very
Wish
much.
we got in a little bit earlier, but we were doing another podcast.
Yeah,
Because-
yeah.
because again, we're-
Podcast. You're not a
Yeah.
comedian unless you have a podcast.
No,
like
exactly.
You have to have a podcast before you have a solid 5. drive.
Oh yeah. Listen, yeah.
That's the rule
It
nowadays.
really
Yeah.
is.
I know we're not doing well
Yeah.
because we got roasted earlier for not having business cards ready to go.
Oh Lord,
That's true. Yeah.
I have business cards, but
Yeah.
it's funny because it's like people ask for it. I'm like, this is a very old thing.
Yeah, well,
but
like, it's 2019. I'm like, what's your Instagram handle?
Yeah, just tell
That's
me
my
and
thing.
follow me right now. Text me right now. Now
Yeah.
I have your number.
Like
yeah.
that's how this works. My God.
And you have a special called
Big Mama God and a Hazel-eyed monster.
yes,
And
Really good for SEO searches.
no, it is. Well, you type Big Mama God, I'm the first one.
That's true.
And I got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer in 2016, and I was planning on this special. Then when I got diagnosed and they were rushing for the surgeries, I went, shit, we need to do this quickly. And so we did it at this place called the Bang Bang Bar that's owned by two members of the group Girl in a Coma. They're nationally known, and they're really, really cool, and they let me film in their establishment. And it's just, it's kind of a gritty grindhouse, it's well produced, but, I'm a big fan of the movie Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Mm-hmm.
So it has
Hell
a
yeah.
similar opening. It's grainy and it's, dark and stuff. I wear a chainsaw on my shirt. Like, it's pretty fun.
So, yeah, we watched the trailer.
Oh, right on.
Like, listen,
The trailer of Chainsaw Massacre.
yeah,
Actually.
exactly. I got the reference
Yeah.
when we were
Yeah.
watching it. And I was just like, you know what? A good podcast would probably just buy this so we could watch it and talk about it. I'm like, I'm not.
Oh man, I wish you would have told me. I would have given you the free code.
Ooh, maybe we'll
well,
get that
maybe
afterwards.
we'll
I want to like.
cap-
Do a
Capitalize on
review.
that
That'd be
later.
fun.
Yeah, we'd love.
Oh, yeah, we'd love
we did,
to.
We did one review so far of a comedy special. We did
cool.
Aziz's
Oh, yeah.
new one.
Aziz
Oh, right
Ansari.
on.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm at Aziz's level, but it would be really
Yeah.
cool to get a review.
No, we'd love
just
to.
in
No.
general.
Well, Peter wants us to keep the thing small.
Well,
like,
yeah,
like
I mean, I
more
wanna-
like more
more
unknown
local,
names.
more-
Well, thank you. That's really appreciated.
Definitely.
Because this isn't kissing up or anything like that, but like people. When the conversation pieces of like if you can go anywhere in the world, where would you go? And my number one answer is New York. I've always wanted to go to New York. I've never been to New York.
You've never been to New York.
No, and I've been doing comedy for years, and I've been to L.A., San Francisco, / Oakland, friggin' Sacramento, New Mexico, Arizona, fucking Louisiana, Oklahoma, like all over Florida, Tennessee, and I have never North Carolina, and I've never been to New York.
Yeah,
Ever.
the Mecca, honestly.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's a place that I've always wanted to go. And back when I was sick, I was like, all right, I'm going to New York and I'm going to perform in the cellar, and I don't care what I have to do it. And I was going to pull my cancer card like a
I
motherfucker.
mean, exactly. Yeah, call
Yeah.
it Make a Wish
I pulled-
Foundation.
Yeah, exactly. And just like, I know I'm an adult. I just want
Yeah.
3 to 5 minutes at the
5
cellar
minutes.
before I die.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll put you on at 11, but you're probably gonna get bumped till 1.
Yeah,
Dude,
and
11,
you know what?
like you did,
Just a
he would get
picture
put
on
on a
that
1
stage.
and bumped to 3.
Yeah, and I wouldn't give 2 shits.
Yeah.
Just to touch
Yeah.
that stage and do comedy in New York is a dream of mine. So it's something I really want to do.
I
yeah.
pull out the cancer card all the time myself. But
Yeah,
they're
do you,
like,
do you have it?
no, I don't. But I just,
Oh, yeah,
I like.
fuck
to,
it.
Yeah.
I'm a big stolen valor guy.
Oh,
That's my-
I mean, you'll get it now. It's just like Garba's a motherfucker.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always wanted to go, and so it's good to meet people that are doing the open mic scene, because that's where I would be.
Yeah.
I'm a big fish in a small pond, and it's a big pond. It's a shallow pond. But yeah, just to
Yeah.
go into like the deep seas in New York would be really cool.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Spirit, we've kind of figured out now that we've done the open mic scene. We both run the Blind Tiger show tonight.
Yeah.
Free plug.
Yeah. Blind Tiger Comedy.
Blind Ti-
Free midnights, Fridays if you're in
That's
San
true,
Antonio.
yeah.
And it's has good comics, guest comics, and it's run by comics. So it's run
the best
well.
sort of show, really.
But yeah,
Yeah.
really.
Maybe we should talk about that, because we should talk about our experience in San Antonio. We both just got off stage performing.
Yes, we did.
Sean, how did you feel?
I liked it. It was fun.
Yeah.
Like it took a little minute of warming up.
Yeah.
Like
well,
know.
it would if you talk shit about Texas.
I did. Like,
Sean,
well,
Why do you guys love Texas so much? Fuck you.
I listen. My material wasn't landing, and I'm like, all right, what the fuck? Like, because like, I just was like,
You turned on the audience.
You know what it is?
That's-
Have you ever
yeah.
watched the
That's
clip?
what you do.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched the clip when Bill Burr turned on Philly?
Yeah.
That's like my favorite clip of all time.
Yeah, yeah.
And like in my head, I'm like,
But Bill Burr's funny, man.
oh, he is funny. listen, so many people today have just talked up how great this like it all is, and it's fine. Everything is fine. I don't think
How about
New York's,
Texas?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
New York's not great.
It's giant.
Everything is fine in life.
Yeah.
And that's my whole thing. I'm like, all right, like, why are you guys sucking your own dicks this much?
Okay. Well, so
Well, that Texas pride thing's an actual real thing. You talk to anybody, and regardless of their nationality, they're going to say that they're Texas before they're anything else. The only misconception is we're not wearing cowboy hats. I'm not a big fan of guns. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm liberal, and that's the thing about San Antonio. It's a fairly liberal city.
We can tell. We haven't offered to go to a gun range 4 different times.
Yeah.
Who are you talking to?
In about 36 hours.
Here's the thing, and I want to go on record saying this. It's sad that the comics that you see talk about raping people and the people that you meet offer you to go to a gun range, because it's just shitty luck, because we are not like that. And the reason why I kind of shy away from being the face of San Antonio comedy is because of the stigma. If you ask any touring comic that you guys meet, they come to River Center, or that closed, by the way, and the LOL. Those are good spots, but unfortunately they have a bad taste. Rob Funches fucking hated it when he came, and he was just like, fuck San Antonio, like on Twitter. And the thing about San Antonio is, we're proud people, and I guarantee all the people that talk shit to Rob Funches probably didn't go to his show.
No,
and just,
definitely.
Just the fuck San Antonio got them all riled up.
Oh yeah, you're like, oh, this is my city.
But he came to the Tiger. And that's the thing that people don't understand. He didn't say fuck San Antonio because the shows were bad. He said fuck San Antonio because people were giving him shit for smoking pot out in the open in a hotel.
Oh my God.
And pot's not legal in Texas. And so people were like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? And then he's like, San Antonio's was lame. But it's like, no, dude, you live in California and you can do that. You can do it here.
Maybe that's the attitude I should have taken, because I committed a crime today.
Oh, did you?
Oh yeah, Peter's a hardened criminal.
So like before the show started, so we haven't eaten since like 3 p.m.
Yeah, it's been like 3
Last
o'clock.
thing we ate was like 2 tiny tacos.
I've been on a steady
10
diet of
hours.
and I was
Heinekens
like,
and Jack and
I was
Cokes.
feeling,
Right on.
I was feeling so out of it. I was like, I got to get something in my system before I go on stage. So,
Good for
me and Chris Grulon, shout out to him, go to Whataburger.
What'd you think?
We got.
I
don't know, because I took 2 bites out of my burger, and then I come back here and I have a bag of burger and 2 cups, and then like the host sternly grabs me aside and being like, "You can't have that here."
Well, okay, so TABC, which is the Texas American Bar Committee or whatever the fuck it stands for. If you bring in outside drink, it's illegal, because it's like you could have liquor in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's any
which
bar.
is understandable.
Every bar doesn't want you bringing outside shit in because they want you to buy it here. Like,
And
that's
so
how it works.
So shout out to I won't say the name, but to the people that allow us to have the Blind Tiger inside their establishment. We just don't want to lose the room.
Oh yeah.
Out of those.
I was like, I felt so bad because like I didn't want to be the guy who just like pisses off like all the people who run the show before I go up on stage after my co-host
after they've let us record a bunch of podcasts in their establishment.
and after my co-host
taking full advantage of it.
told
Like,
Texas to go
we
fuck
lose
themselves.
our room over a Coke, right?
Yeah, over a
not
Coke.
Coke, a Coke.
Yeah, fuck New York comics. Never allowed again.
Oh, I know, like the entitlement I have.
Hey, I'm a New Yorker. I can do
Hey,
what I
get
want.
the fuck out of here. I'm a
Get
piss over
the
here.
fuck out of here now. But I was introduced next as the New York comic, which I didn't want to be. I didn't want to have.
No, own it, man.
I think we have to embrace it.
I had to own it. I had to own it, and I tried to like parlay, because like usually like the joke with like, being from the north and going to the south is like, well, we won the Civil War, like we're on the right side.
I believe I said that.
Yes, but what's really funny about that is that Texas's role in the Civil War was just housing slaves. Like
I wanted to mention
Texas history is like
Peter,
they teach that in schools.
You said I wish the South on the. You realize you just advocated slavery, right? Like that's what you just
well,
did.
no, there was it was just a joke.
The
it was
Texans
just like
sinned, but we were our own country, and that's what I was about your biz. Like, why are you guys so proud? I was like, we were our own country for a really long time, and we were part of Mexico before that. So there's a little history. I when I did a show, a festival in North Carolina, they were like, so how do you like the South? I'm like, this is not the South. Like, I'm from Texas, and South Texas, as a matter of fact. And they're like, no, this is the South. We, grits and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, how come I had to fly 5 hours north to come to the South then?
isn't the Virginia the South?
Yeah,
everything. The Mason-Dixon line's under Pennsylvania. It's like that was the South. Like,
but I mean, when you're fucking Oregon Trail and shit, then you'll die of dysentery in Pittsburgh.
Like we live about 30 minutes north of New York City, and people from New York City call us upstate New York.
Yeah,
like,
I believe it.
That's like the big controversy.
They think we're like hill people.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
and it's not even close to Buffalo, I'd assume.
Not even like we are like where we live is like from here to Houston is a Buffalo.
So 5 hours?
5 hour ride at least.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, and
that's
people are like
crazy.
Yeah.
No, the Texas is humongous, and that's what I was talking about on stage. Is like you can drive 12 hours or 10, I should say, and you're still in Texas.
Yeah. No, it's so crazy.
From here.
I mean, it takes like I have family in like Eastern Maine. It takes like 8.5 hours to drive from New York to Eastern Maine. You wouldn't even get across Texas in that time.
Yeah, like how many states do you cross?
You go through Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Hampshire. Texas just sprawl. I mean, we were up in the Tower of Americas.
Oh, did you guys do it?
We did it today.
Very top.
Very fun, actually.
Did you like it?
It's one of those things where like, this is going to be stupid, but it was actually quite cool.
I've done it once in my life.
Yeah.
I'm 38. I've done it once.
Well, it seems like people come to New York and they're like, oh, you go to the Empire Statue of Liberty. Yeah. I'm like, no. Like, why would I do that?
Times Square? No.
Yeah, what the fuck I hate people. Like,
no New Yorkers at Times Square.
Yeah, I believe that 100%.
The only reason why if you're in Times Square is if you're the guy who's trapped in the Elmo costume.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And I say trapped.
Hello,
they're
darkness,
not putting it on everyone.
Friend. Yeah.
They're all imprisoned in there.
Oh,
that's
you know what? All those suits are Horcruxes.
I've always said like that would be a better work release program for felons. Like just like
I think it is, dude.
I would not put that past. I mean.
Yeah. Just think about it, I just need to inform you that I'm a registered sex offender. This picture will be $5, please. And then they get a picture with Elmo and Jack Sparrow, who are all working here at this children's restaurant where we're currently residing.
Yeah. Everyone loves an Elmo that tries to haggle you for $20 after you get a picture.
Oh, yeah. When I did Vegas, man, it's like I took a picture with Sonic because my son loves Sonic. And I was like, cool, let me take a picture with Sonic. And then Luigi jumped in, Mario jumped in, fucking.
that's a whole.
A Digimon jumped in, and I'm like, guys, and they're all like, all right, that'll be $5. Like all of them, I was like, and I had to show them. I just took a picture with Sonic, guys. Y'all are fucking cropped
Fuck you,
out.
I'm a Sega boy.
Yeah, exactly.
They try so hard.
Sega do what Nintendo don't. Just don't even. Just shoo them off.
Sega do what Nintendo.
Is that the nerdiest thing we've said on this podcast?
That's pretty good. Could that be the title of this fucking
we'll put it up there.
Hell yeah.
Sega do what Nintendo. I love that.
Featuring Larry Garza.
I'll take it all day.
San Antonio.
I worked at GameStop for fucking 6 years, so it fucking makes sense.
Really?
Oh yeah, I fucking rip people off.
Everyone does.
At what ages did you work at GameStop?
Ages, I'll give you the years, because I mean it's the same shit.
we
I
do
worked
math.
there from 2000 to 2006.
That's like peak GameStop
So,
at least.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
when EB Games still existed
EB
too.
Games still existed. Babbage's still
Yeah,
existed.
all the old
all the
ones.
PC games and stuff like
And then
that.
and now it's just the last remaining holdout of GameStop, who's just like,
I'll give you a penny for this fucking game.
and
he
it
sold.
still works for them. I don't know how people keep are like.
I would be surprised. I'm like, all right, you're trading for this whole console, 2 controllers, 24 games is $24 in cash and 28 in store credit. Cool, thanks. I'll put it towards his Madden for Xbox. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
People still,
because
their entire business model is just like, all right, let's get the mom who has no idea what the fuck she's going for to just screw up her son's Christmas.
Yeah, or the kid that just like is really antsy for this new game that sells all of his shit because he doesn't know the value of money. And I never let the kids fucking do that.
Yeah,
I know, it's so funny.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so
comedy. This is
comedy.
We're just gonna know each other now.
This is more. I'd rather just
So I was told that you were well respected in this scene.
That's sweet. That's sweet.
I wasn't trying to conflate you as like, oh, you're the face of the scene. Like I know you're not comfortable saying that, but you're well respected in the scene from what I've heard.
That's nice to hear.
So what do you think of San Antonio comedy scene?
I think it has a lot of potential, but we have a really bad reputation, and that's what we're trying to change here at the Blind Tiger.
Yeah.
Because like when you went to the other establishment and you heard all those like rape jokes, like you come to the Blind Tiger, N-word's not allowed, C-word isn't allowed, other F words besides
What's the
fuck
C-word?
isn't allowed. It's cunt, faggot.
I was wanting you to say that.
And then,
That's all.
I mean, we all know the N-word. And no, that is the N word, and I don't listen to it.
Yeah, no.
But we're really big on because the problem is if I can get on a soapbox real quick. When I started in 2002, and I'm allowed to say this, there's a lot of beaner comedy. Like, I mean, Carlos Mencia was really big at the time, and Carlos Mencia was coming up, Felipe Esparza was coming up, and the River Center Comedy Club is where they had the Latino Laugh Festival, which was on Showtime. It had Cheech Marin, it had fucking Paul Rodriguez hosting it in San Antonio. So San Antonio was a mecca for Latino comedy and Tejano music, like Selena and stuff like that. So that's what a lot of the scene was at the time, was like, hey, bad credit, hey, Sharpie eyebrows, hey, you know,
hey, not my joke.
Yeah, playing off stereotypes.
Yeah, that's all it was. And so I am guilty of still having a tinge of that in my comedy, but it's something that we wanted to like grow out of, right?
Yeah.
And so we started a sketch troupe, and we started performing at this punk rock venue, and this was before, you know, social media and stuff like that. So we would get, you know, like really, really good crowds, like, you know, I'd say 150 to 200 people at our shows, and we're doing crazy ass sketches, and we were doing videos and stuff like that. And so then that transitioned into me doing a duo with my partner Regan, and we were basically this like a Cheech and Chong type of thing. We did that for a while. We traveled. We did that in California and LA. We did a show at Felipe Esparza, which is a separate story, and it's a long story that I don't think you want to hear, but basically there was a bar fight.
We would like to hear it, but you can't tell it.
Yeah, you don't have time, but basically bar fight. Guy got his head fucking busted with a bottle. Doors got locked. Felipe Esparza started doing his set. Doors got unlocked because the cops came, and then Felipe was like, "Hide your coke" in front of the cops, and the cops were like, "Oh, Felipe," and then they took off, and then we had to follow Felipe Esparza after he did like 45 minutes, and we bombed like shit. So. We did that for a really long time. I had kids, and you know, my buddy, you know, just didn't want to do it as often, and plus we had to split the pay. And so then I started doing my own stand up, and I developed a character because I was trying to, you know, kill the stigma of the fucking hacky, you know, Latino comic. And so I developed my own Tony Clifton, if you're familiar with Andy Kaufman.
Big Andy Kaufman guy.
And so his name is Jesus Who Farted Mendoza. Because the thing about hacky Mexican comics is they have a nickname, they have a catchphrase, and they all...
I'm not big, I'm fluffy.
You're not a big Fluffy fan?
I actually do like him, but I just think that's hacky.
The nickname?
Yeah, the fluffy thing I don't like.
But yeah, those Latino comics have the middle nickname. And so all the like hacky... you know, Mexicans be like jokes, I put into this old man that I would do. And so I would open for myself, and then I would do my material. So to circle back to your question, that's kind of died off in San Antonio. But what's happening now is people are really trying hard to be shocking, and they're really trying hard. And that I'm noticing about eating ass, and you know, there's a lot of like rape jokes at mics and stuff like that. There's the problem with it is like a punchline could be, and he was a black guy, and like that's awful. Like it's not, you know.
Yeah, that's see
there's no reason why that should be funny. And then with the current like social climate and stuff like that, people are like speaking up against it. And you know, you'll hear comics say, "And I told his bitch," and then and they're not even like urban comics. They're just like using that vernacular just because that's what they're used to.
They're from the suburbs.
Yeah, exactly.
And so we're trying. You're not only trying to retrain, you know, up and coming comics, you're also trying to fucking retrain the audience because they live for that, you know, bitch slapping dick fart jokes.
Yeah, people love that.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I love dick and fart jokes, but like if you're gonna, you know, make a rape joke and an abortion joke and, you know, do that like at a mic at 8 in the evening when people are like on a date, like that's what visiting comics like yourselves are gonna go back and talk about. And you post shit online now, like the Bomb Squad, and and then people are gonna assume that's what it is. So when I was looking at your Instagram stories, and you're kind of quoting people's bits, and then you got that comic that he's threatening to rape us. I'm like, I guarantee that's the only thing that people from out of town are going to take away. And when you talk to people that travel, you ask any New York comic, you know, I'm friends with a few, that's what they'll say is like, oh, San Antonio likes race baiting humor and bullshit.
So the sad part, I think, is that's happening everywhere now, because we get that in our scene too, where people are purposely saying the most shocking things because like I'm a big pro wrestling fan. And there's the term of just cheap heat. And I think
sure.
And when you just say the shocking thing, just like that's gonna get a reaction no matter
cheap
what.
Heat and pandering. Yep.
Yeah, and it's just it's annoying because the other night I was hosting a mic and a guy told a rape joke and it fell flat as fucking hell because it was
if someone pulls that shit at the Tiger, we light them.
Yeah,
and that's polite.
Yeah,
and then if they don't stop, we cut their mic off. Like it's just really simple like that. And so what ends up happening is that when they go to the other rooms, the main comedy club and stuff like that, they're more polished comics, even though they may not be doing it as long as the other comics are, because we have we call them dojos. They're workshops. We work with comedians and we teach them what not to do. And it's like you're learning by a bad example of this old hack that has lived in this town for 20 fucking years and isn't going anywhere. Like,
that's something I've been kind of preaching to some friends lately. Is like I think it's better to do 2 really good mics and getting good sets in a week than going out and doing 5 mediocre ones. Where it's better to have just that talent and just like understanding. Yeah.
Pause for a second.
Okay, we can pause real quick. No problem.
No problem.
And we're back.
Yeah, sorry for the pause. I had to say goodbye to our LA visitors, and so I'm really really happy that we were able to get visitors from New York, visitors from Los Angeles, and that's the beauty of the Tiger.
Very funny Los Angeles comics. Yeah,
they absolutely killed on the early show.
And I just want to say,
Tiger.
I love the room so much.
I'm glad, man. I'm really glad.
I'm a sucker for those rooms because the room is built for comedy. It's
absolutely,
you got the low ceiling, you got the small space. There's not a lot of empty space. The audience is packed.
Yeah, and it maxes at 50. And that's shoulder to shoulder. And we've had rooms like that. And there's no distractions, no bar in the background, no televisions. You have to want to see comedy to go to those shows. And so,
I really respect that. You definitely have made a room that is so conducive to comedy.
Yeah.
And that's so cool. Because there's so many times that, you go to mics and even shows that are just not set up for
that's the thing is you and I have been talking
comedy.
about because he and I were planning on producing a show sponsored by the podcast.
Yeah.
Cool.
And we're like, all right, we need to find a venue that's just conducive, can fit a decent amount of people that we can then also have low ceiling. It's just a good comedy room, and it's genuinely hard to find a place.
You know who cares a lot about that? It's Todd Barry. You guys, he cares so much. Oh, can we edit?
We can edit it post.
Okay.
It's easier
So
to keep
who
talking.
really cares about that is Todd Glass. Sorry.
I thought you were going to say Todd Glass. We said Todd.
No, I'm sorry. I meant Todd Glass.
Todd Barry can go fuck himself.
Jesus Christ.
He's actually my dad, so it's...
Is it your father? Yeah. I'm sure he doesn't know.
Yeah.
Todd Glass really cares about room setup, really cares about that. And he did the room. And the thing about the Tiger is, we work with the main comedy club, and it's a midnight show, so we promote the weekend, and so it doesn't interfere with the 8 and 10 o'clock shows at the main room. So we'll have headliners come down here. That's how Rob Funches, what I was talking about earlier. Yeah. He loved the room and had a great set.
Yeah.
And we only have him do 10 minutes. We don't cut them off or anything like that. It's hey, can you do 10 minutes? And so they work on new material. It's longer than everybody else. And then the host, whoever it is, says, catch them this weekend at the Laugh Out Loud Comedy Club. So we're promoting, the other room, and they like it. They have a good time. And so, we've had Hannibal Buress come down, Brian Posehn, you know what I mean? We've had Anthony Jeselnik, and they all really, really love the room, but they are all nervous as soon as they walk in when they see the children's restaurant that we're right above.
Oh, my God.
I go, just wait, guys. I promise it's cool.
I got lost in this restaurant.
No,
everybody
we all
does.
did.
If you come by yourself, you have to come with a
Never been
escort.
lost in a restaurant before.
You got lost in the car that's a salad bar.
Oh my God, it was just such a fun game of literally we were recording with Irma earlier, and just people just kept popping in. It's there's Jesse's from Toy Story. I was the idiot that said Beetlejuice 3 times and he fucking appeared.
He appeared.
Did he really?
Yeah, he really did. I was I'm that's on me.
He made a cameo appearance. We got
we had multiple cameo appearances. The girls just are you doing a podcast?
Yeah.
Oh Lord,
and just
isn't that the best?
I love podcasts.
Yeah, and that's where Irma was business card out and just handed it to her. We were
she's a hustler. She's great. Yeah, she's been doing it for a minute. Literally a minute. I think she's only been doing it 60 seconds.
No,
so she's very new.
100%. But
yeah,
that's all it takes. I guess we'll go back to questioning. Actually, I wanted to talk about your special for a second.
Sure.
I wanted to you take just the idea of record, just the whole, just self-produced, right? More or less.
So Yeah, so Comedia A Go-Go started off, like I said, in sketch, and we're all film students, and so we're really big movie nerds. And so we, my buddy Jess, who's a co-host of the podcast, is a great editor, is a professional editor.
Yeah.
And so we had a 3-camera setup. We know what we're doing, and as far as production wise, there's nothing easier than a comedy special. It's one mic into a board, two mics, one with the comedian, the other on the audience, and it goes into a board, and then you have 3 cameras, all 3, 2, 1 action, sync it up, and bada bing, bada boom.
Easy to cut away from gaps and stuff. It's super
absolutely.
easy. So.
And then the laughs are yours. So it's not like you're using canned laughter or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So, especially, and it takes, as long as you have a solid 45, solid 30 minutes. You know what I mean? It's like nonstop.
Yeah, you have a 10-minute intro music.
I will admit, but because it was more as far as art, is my opening's like a minute long, but I wanted it to be like Chainsaw Massacre. Like I really didn't.
You wanted something.
I thought I was gonna die, you guys. I was just I'm not gonna try to sell this thing. Or anything.
Well, so this will be really relevant to you, but Gerard Carmichael is a comedian I love so much, and he's a comedian who he's created 2 specials, and he's created them with a lot of purpose, with a sense of like, what do I want this to be when I present it to the audience? He really thinks about that. He really thinks about how it's edited, how it's going to be cut, how it's like, and the thing is, like, I was listening to him on a Pete Holmes podcast, and he's talking about how he goes into like meetings with, like, HBO and stuff, and he like the way he just pitches stuff is like, okay, guys, look, we're all gonna die.
We are all.
So why don't we just make stuff we like rather than garbage?
Man. I had to drop that, and I'm not recommending that you guys do. I mean, get a good 4-minute clip, get a clean 4-minute clip. Like, you guys you're in the hub. You guys can be seen by people. So if you can get it like clean, and I don't mean clean like crisp. I mean clean like no cussing. Be dirty, but just don't fuck. Right? I highly recommend that, and get that clip on so you can send to festivals and stuff.
I got that clip.
With that said, there's a lot of those rules that promoters will tell you, like, we don't want to see your introduction. We don't want multiple cameras. We want it just one camera set on you so we can see that it's your actual material, that it's not edited and all that sort of shit. And when it all came down to it, I'm like, you know what? I don't give a fuck about that sort of stuff. And I just want to make my representation of myself. And so if you look on YouTube, I look like I quit comedy fucking 7 years ago because I haven't been posting anything on there. And it's just a matter of, if people want to see my comedy, you can see me live, or you can look at my special. I'm proud of my special. And it's dark. It's black and red very much, there's some color correct. I'm colorblind, so I just left it up to my friends.
Oh, really?
Okay. Yeah. And I'm proud of it. And I was able to take out shit that really didn't land.
Yeah.
And it was offered like, we can edit laughter. It's your laughter.
Just pump it in.
I have too much integrity
was
for
it
that.
called canned laughter? Is that the term?
Canned laughter.
Canned laughter. But it was my laughter. It would be laughter from another joke that they would put underneath the joke.
Just amplify that by 20.
And I'm like, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah, that's
just
why
take that joke out of the special, please.
Yeah, for anybody wondering, it's like when you watch Big Bang Theory, that's all not filmed in front of a live studio audience anymore. So it's just like the ha 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 ha.
So have you seen Andy Call? You've seen Man on the Moon, right?
Yes.
So that those people are dead, right? All those people laughing are all dead. These are dead people laughing. It's like one of my favorite parts.
It's so fucking good.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying, like, so you see in TV shows like Big Bang Theory, if they just people edit out the laugh tracks, and you just see that how flat the jokes will fall.
I've seen that on YouTube.
So it's very funny.
Yeah, Ross looks like a psychopath on Friends. Have you seen that?
Oh,
on
I love
YouTube?
it.
It's fucking hilarious.
I don't think you even needed to edit it. I don't know. I've had like the afternoon free. Friends is always fucking on, so you just put it on for 2 seconds. Yeah. That show was insane.
It's neurotic. They did a lot of dark shit.
Like at one point they traded
Phoebe's story's dark as shit.
Yeah, super. Like she aborted the kid. Like it was But like there's one like 2 grown men traded their 18,000 square foot Manhattan apartment to see tits for 2 seconds.
Yep.
And I'm like, this is only 20 years old.
Yeah.
Like, it was like that should be like 80s, but
yeah.
But people love it.
They do. Friends,
people keep spending $100 million on a 20-year-old TV show.
So 2 Mic Minimum brought to you by Friends on Netflix.
Oh,
Friends,
if they sponsor this bad boy, I will suck Ross's dick tonight.
I mean, Didn't Netflix like pay like $1 bajillion to
$100 million.
$100 million. Those royalties, god damn.
That's the good old days.
Just imagine being like,
and in the Madagascar money.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Ross is good.
Ross is great.
It's Schwim, baby.
Schwinn,
My
baby,
God.
Schwimmer.
Schwim, come on the pod.
that is the real dream though, to be like either an actor or a writer on that show, and it's just like, oh cool, I got a check for $1 million
What you want
because
to be,
Netflix bought us
what you
again.
want to
Yeah.
be is the director of the pilot of any of the shows that go
Oh, yeah,
big.
yeah.
Because the DGA rules, you get paid every time anything associated with that show gets money.
Wow,
no
that's
matter
good to know.
you could do just one episode and you're getting paid forever.
I'm directing pilots
Dude,
for the rest
dude,
of my life.
we're ready to sell
found
out
One of them will
immediately.
land. I'll sell like a motherfucker. I tell people all the
Yeah.
time because when they talk about comedy and integrity and you shouldn't work with that guy because that guy's a piece of shit, or that guy harass somebody and stuff like that. I'm like, cool, yeah, he's paying me and I have a family, so my integrity has a price.
It goes,
Yeah, I mean,
everyone has their price for money.
Now,
like,
you have
get out of here.
7 kids?
What?
Oh.
I have 2.
well,
I don't know where I
you
got
have two
that.
you know about.
No, I have
Larry,
2.
I'm sorry.
Reveal this door. You're 5 unborn children.
Where do I
would
get
be like,
Unborn children. I don't know.
I was like, I've had sex with the same woman my whole life, so I'm pretty confident I have 2 only. If I have 2
If you-
unborn kids and she
That'd be
fucking
crazy.
yeah,
had a kid behind my back.
somebody.
I don't know where that came from. I was like, because I read your bio on your
I don't know where
website.
you got that, but it's okay.
I just found because like,
appreciate the research.
I wanted to come prepared. I was like, okay, here's the information I found. Maybe I think I might have confused that with some other person I was reading.
Hey, you know what?
7 kids.
My 2 kids, they feel like 7.
Yeah,
kids.
that's fair.
That's what I've heard. It's just like
Yeah.
it always feels like more than a handful.
we just-
Yeah,
we
I have a
decided
teenage
after-
girl and a 9-year-old boy.
After
so.
spending so much time in here, we're never having kids. Just seeing the kids run around the magic room.
Ever
I'm like,
seen Idiocracy?
yes.
Please
Yeah.
have children. You
No, I
smart
know.
guys. Like you're gonna dumb down our.
Well, no, I told Sean like look, wherever I settle down, if this place is in the vicinity, I'm not having kids. I'm not bringing them here. Or
No, but I don't ever. I've brought my kids here once. It's called the Magic Time Machine. Fuck it, we'll just say it.
Yeah, free plug.
And it's expensive, and it's like it's the kids don't want prime rib.
Yeah.
no, they want prime rib served by Buzz Lightyear.
By Buzz Lightyear, more au jus, Tucker.
The funniest thing I think my mom's ever said is like, I really didn't appreciate the times when you only ate chicken tenders, because now I eat like lobster and like we go out to dinner. It's like, yeah.
It's like I
Yeah,
you
this
miss
is-
those days. Yeah, because
yeah.
that's all my son will eat is fucking chicken tenders. And
I know.
spaghetti.
And eventually they're gonna be like, you know what? I'll have the lamb chops tonight, Dad. Like,
damn it!
I'll have the foie gras.
I'll have the foie gras and baked Alaska.
yeah.
Wait, so how old are your kids?
14 and 9.
Okay. Boy, girl.
My oldest is a girl. My
Oldest
youngest
is
is
a
a
girl.
boy. They're fun.
Uh-oh.
Mikey and Gunner. Yeah.
That's the age.
We did,
Yeah.
we did see
Yeah.
your son got a fresh cut this week. I saw it on the
Say it again?
He got a fresh haircut.
Oh, my son. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, fucking Instagram stalking.
Yeah, no.
Nah, he wanted to grow his hair out for the summer. He's a big Dragon Ball
Okay.
Z fan, and he,
Oh,
and he
baby,
wanted.
I'll get him.
Yeah,
Dragon Ball
so
Z.
he wanted like some future Trunks action going on. So I'm like, all
Yeah.
right, that's Boy Meets World. So I'll let you go for it. So
I wish I was exploited for followers as a kid.
Oh, me too. Yeah. Listen, if I do have
We were
kids, they will be
just behind
products.
that.
Yeah.
Just graduation photos for us, and,
Yeah.
and then that's it from our parents.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Blind Tiger is definitely awesome. Definitely check it out if you're in the San Antonio
you.
area. If you're a comic in the San Antonio area, you should definitely reach out to Larry Garza.
please,
You can
please,
definitely.
please don't.
Well, no, you run the
just
room. I'm
kidding.
talking about the room.
I
Like,
don't run the room. I know it seems like I run
Oh,
the room.
wait.
I'm just trying to like
Okay.
no. It's confusing. Like
Yeah.
I just because I've been in it for such a long time,
Yeah.
I just try to set a good example.
Right.
Jay Wycotton, shout out to him at Jay Wycotton, started the room.
Okay.
But our whole like little mantra is that it's a room for comics run by comics.
Yes.
So it's all run by everyone that you see that is a Blind Tiger comic. That has to. I mean, you have to go through a grueling process, but you just have to want to be a comic.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
No, I know exactly what you mean
Yeah,
when you
and
say
so
that.
just like with anything, like you were saying, get the 11 slot, get bumped to 1, go up at 3.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's kind of like that. You got to start off,
Pay your dues.
pay your dues,
Yeah.
do the dojo, seat people, and it's not like a hazing
no,
thing.
no, no,
Yeah.
no,
It's
no.
just like
It's like
show us that you want to be on this stage.
yeah, you have to put up with a lot of shit.
Yeah,
my least
but it's
favorite
not
thing.
bringer. Like we would never do a bringer show.
Yeah.
And the
Hey, you want to do
show's
4
free.
minutes at Blind Tiger?
Yeah, bring 12 people.
Bring 12 people.
$10 a pop. Like, no,
Be better for business.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck that. No, the show's free. The drinks are cheap, and the crowd is
Drinks are very cheap.
normally
Very much
good.
enjoy it.
But I was going to ask you if like a out of town comic was coming through to San Antonio, how would they get on the
you
show?
know, honestly, just if they could send a clip,
Yeah.
because we don't want what we talked about before. But if someone's traveling through town and they have a Friday open, or they just want to get on an extra mic, we will always greet people with respect and with open arms, and just ask that they just pay us the same respect.
Oh yeah. Who should they send the clip to? Just
the Blind Tiger Comedy
All right.
Club Facebook page.
Okay.
And we also have the Instagram at Blind Tiger Laugh, and the admins on there. I'm not one of them. It's just like I said. You just try to show leadership and give support to the guys that have been doing it less than you, and you just check your integrity at the door. Being a dad and caring about my children, like I'm not going to leave. And so that's why I'm okay with it. I think that's the thing. You have the bitter comics that are in their scenes, that are getting old, that are upset that they didn't make the leap to New York or make the leap to LA, or they did and then they had to move back.
Yeah.
I never left. San Antonio is my home. I love it and I hate it.
Yeah.
Like any native of their city. But I plan on staying here, and I'd love to travel to do comedy, but not be a touring comic, if that makes any sense.
No, that's the thing we've been talking about, is we were like, this is our tour, quote unquote, to one destination.
According to my mom.
According to our mom.
Own it,
She
dude.
tells to
Our moms.
Oh yeah, my mom. Like I was traveling in Maine. Both my families live there on my mom's dad's side. And my mom's just saying like, oh, him and his comedy friend are going on tour in Texas.
Is that what they call me? His comedy friend?
Well, yeah.
I
they don't know you.
Oh yeah.
When are you guys taking off?
We're taking off
Sunday morning.
Sunday
8 a.m.
morning.
Okay, and you have a spot on Saturday?
Yes.
We're
Good.
doing
Freetail
Brewing.
Good.
Tori's
Yeah,
spot.
we got
so
that.
Good.
Really happy about that.
And so you
Shout
get
out
to
her.
well, I'll talk about this off the podcast, but that's the one thing that I wanted to say. The span of the country that I've done, like mileage wise, if I was from the Northeast, I'd be considered a national touring comic.
No, I'm sure.
But when you're a Texas comic, that's the hard thing. Is I've done fucking Brownsville, which is right at the tip of Mexico, and I've done Paris, Texas, which is right at the tip by Oklahoma. I've done Oklahoma, but I've done the tip.
Yeah.
And you move that span of Texas to the right or the left, that's fucking 5 or 6 states, 7 states.
No, yeah, definitely. Like because I was just like, I've done Jersey and Connecticut,
Yeah.
and New York, and that's
3 states.
I
Dude.
I could probably do all 3 states the time it would take you to drive to Houston.
Yeah, no, I swear to God, man. And
That's really.
so luckily I'm also luckily I have support in Texas. I can go to El Paso. I know people there. I can go to Laredo. I can go to the Valley, which is the Brownsville area. I can go to Beaumont, East Texas, Houston, Dallas, Paris, Lubbock, and I've done comedy for so long in Texas that I have a good support system, and there's some really, really good scenes in Texas. So if a comic just comes to Texas, I'll be happy to point you in the right direction, even if you're not close to San Antonio. I just want to help change something that is impossible to change, and that's the negative stigma of the San Antonio comedy scene.
Yeah, I think that's like anything. It's just like when something gets a bad vibe, it's like, well, that fucking is terrible forever.
I had a friend tell me that like I was a bad person for going to our open mic just because one person
told a horrible rape joke, and like we don't control it.
Dude, I've lost friends over shows that I've done because the guy who runs it, not even. Anyway, the guy who runs it's a piece of shit, and so then I'm like,
running theme in comedy.
Yeah, guy that runs it's a piece of shit, and so then I do the show, and they're like, you're advocating for a nope. I did a show, got paid, sold merch, and was able to buy a fucking Dragon Ball Z koozie over it. So my son's happy, so I'll lose you.
That's
as
the
a
things
friend.
people forget. This is a job to us, more or less. Like everyone's like, oh, you're going on vacation to San Antonio. I'm like, no, this is like a work trip for me. Like we're doing these podcasts.
Dude, this
and
morning I told Sean, I was like, like we got really drunk last night with Irma. Shout out to her taking us to the karaoke.
That's not hard to do.
Yeah, and I woke up at 5 a.m, got no sleep, and like we were about to leave for the day, and I was like, oh, Sean, fuck. We have so much. We have 3 interviews, a show that we had to crush it because
we had to.
I don't want to be the New York guy who just sucks.
Yeah, I had some photography stuff I needed to get done for my own personal
I was
thing.
like, and Sean was just like, "Yep, this is our work. We gotta get it done."
We are, yeah.
Well, good for you. Fucking keep grinding, dude.
Yeah.
I'm fucking happy for you. It's a pleasure to meet you guys.
Yeah, this has been fun. Like,
Dude, it really was.
And thank you for having me because now my voice is going to be heard by people in New York.
I know, well, it really
Larry Garza, I really want to be where you guys are.
Yeah, that's what I always joke. No one fucking listens to our podcast, but then people actually do.
You'd be surprised.
Like weirdos have come and be like, yeah, you said them. I'm like, I don't fucking remember any of that I just said.
Ditto, bro.
Yeah.
I don't listen to my podcast.
I'm forced to because I
edit
right. But
I've said something like fuck, god damn it.
It's all right.
It's late at night.
It is late at night.
New York comic that does a skating joke.
Skating joke.
He did Vince Vaughn's tour. Fucking Brant. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so we had a comic, New York comic, come on a podcast, and we didn't. It wasn't always live. It was just like what we're doing.
Yeah, just doing this.
And he just started talking shit about Obama, like hard, and so we were just like, okie dokes. And we always tell our guests, is like, no, this isn't live. We're gonna edit it. And so he reaches out to us the next day, and he was just like, hey, I said fuck the president of the United States. If you could just take that off. And I'm like, it's already taken off, dude. We're not gonna have a fuck Obama. Anyway,
I know. That's my favorite thing is like if Peter and I are just riffing, and like if one of us just goes too far, I always just give him that.
Yeah,
like that's he's like, you know.
So nobody's gonna miss Ron Goldman.
I'm okay
Sean,
with that one.
I've edited tons and tons of minutes of you,
and you have no idea that it's gone.
It's one of those things. Like obviously, when we're talking, like we're kidding and all the time. People kind of get that, but then they hear like the horrific shit you say. Like, how could you say that? I'm like, I don't think about it
because I don't mean it. Yeah,
I'm just trying to get my friends to laugh, and like so usually because they're comedians, they have harder senses of humor to crack. So I'm like, Ron
it's like the aristocrats joke.
All I'm saying is Ron Goldman should have been in jail. Like that's, and now we have to keep the whole thing to make that joke make sense.
There it is.
There we go.
I do not condone the murder of people.
I don't condone the murder. I'm just saying I'm glad he was innocent.
Jesus Christ!
And people should give OJ a break.
Come on,
yeah, come on.
Court of law.
Twitter, verify him already. He has 875,000 followers. Like, no, he's not there.
Yeah, no, they don't want to give him that check mark.
They give it to other bad guys.
I was going to say, I know terrible people that have the check mark.
Yeah,
president.
President Julian Assange, like bad dudes.
Trump's your guy, man. That's your guy.
Yeah, it really is. It's funny because you see so many guys who are Trump. Like it's one of those things. Like I tell this to people, like. Yeah, I know him. Like his shit's everywhere, and like, of course, he literally is I know 50 people that have like met him because he's just
New York.
He's just our guy. Like he's not our guy, but
I tell the Southern Confederate flag people the little dick flag you call it. I tell people all the time. I was like, you got a silver spoon born Yankee wuss as your leader. Like, I mean, you guys have talked for generations of how you hated these people.
I know.
That's why. And then a fucking fat cat New Yorker is your leader.
A guy who lives in a gold palace.
It has a gold toilet.
And every New Yorker hated because he's
he's just I know a lot of New York fucking because there's a lot of snowbirds. They don't just go to Florida; they come to Texas too. And so they're just like, we've hated Trump since the 70s.
Yeah,
I know it's been ruined because my parents' favorite restaurant, Eric and Don Jr. They used to go there all the time. Like no one gave a shit because it was them, but now now we know. Everyone's like, fuck.
Now security's now there's Secret Service and
I know my dad. Yeah, it's a whole thing. Point is, Trump sucks. I'll go on the record on that one.
Yeah, fuck the president. We'll say.
Get the kids out of cages, please.
Yeah, please.
No, not that. I'm okay with that.
What? Oh, Sean.
I just don't buy Greenland. That's my tax money.
Oh, put those Greenland kids in cages. Let the brown kids
put the migrants in Greenland. That's what they're buying.
Yeah, like
Nobody talks shit about Canadian snowbacks fucking coming into our country, fucking taking our
jobs. Seth Rogen came into this country illegally.
Kids in the hall.
Yeah, they took hardworking jobs from very hardworking improvisers.
Thank you.
American improvisers.
Yeah.
You got to think about American improvisers. You know?
It's time for improvisers to unionize, is what I say.
They need
Go
to.
full.
They need to.
Is there an improv scene in San Antonio?
I'm sure. I don't know anything about it.
But, you know, we're stand-ups, so we're like...
Well, no, because we do sketch. A lot of people would assume that we were an improv troupe.
Yeah.
I was like, we're a sketch troupe. And like, we would kind of get offended by it. Whereas it's like, no, we're not. But at the time, it was just very, like, we thought improv was like, you know, whose line is it anyway type of stuff. It wasn't. But we had written sketches and stuff like that. So we were a sketch troupe. But, you know, you have the stigma of improv troupe. And there's nothing against improv troupes except for the fact that they're terrible.
That's every comedian's opinion.
Improv troops say that too. It's like, yeah, this is the worst, but I keep doing it.
And some people love it. And you know what? Some really talented fucking comedians came out of improv. So,
it's the worst.
I mean, it's honestly incredible seeing someone who's really good at it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Someone who just like is on like, you know, because like we need to actually have shit prepared, but like there's some people who are on every joke. Like they get the punchline every time, and I'm like, that's fucking incredible.
So that's why I love that I started in sketch because it makes stand up a lot easier. So I'd recommend fucking just trying it out. Just swallow your pride, try it out, and it'll.
No, I've been thinking about taking that.
That's why Robin Williams, he was on all the time. Sure, cocaine helped.
Coke helps.
Yeah, but like he was just on all the time because he was just riffing and stealing jokes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I always forgot that part.
He still jokes.
He's the genie, so it's okay.
But to go back and I guess just wrap up about like what you were saying about Bill Burr and just like he was bombing just shit on Philly. Yeah. He's Bill Burr. Yeah. A lot of people use also the example Richard Pryor when he was in Vegas and he just said fuck it and hung from a chandelier and just like went crazy. But he had made it at that point already. He was on fucking the Steve Allen show and like was doing great. Mm-hmm. You know, so if you're gonna fucking go off on a crowd and you're gonna go crazy, make it first. Like make it first, establish first, and then you'll get that.
So I gotta say, we were at Jokesters 22 open mic, and that's when like I go up before Sean and I eat it there. I ate it, and I go in with this confidence that like
he comes in with such swagger because he got it,
and I just like start dipping, and I start pulling out stuff that I was like riffing on with Sean, like I was talking about the fucking tap water here.
Yeah,
it's delicious, isn't it?
Well, I don't know if you like chugging Crest.
It has fluoride.
I said to the crowd,
I
said to the crowd, like I tasted your tap water. You realize the rest of the world has invented toothpaste.
He was so confident. He was
look
so
how nice his
confident
teeth are.
He
got that fucking confidence because he's a Colgate model.
Yeah,
look at mine; they're all yellow and crooked. They had to force us to have fucking toothpaste by putting fluoride in their water.
Sean's never laughed at. Sean knows.
It's the hardest I've laughed at one of Peter's sets.
Yeah, because I was bombing.
I was watching him eat so much.
I was so despondent, and then then tonight I see Sean tell an entire state to go fuck itself. I'm like.
He's like, I don't know why you're so suck your own dicks about Texas. And when I walked out of the airplane, I was the sexiest dude that they ever saw. I was like, fuck you. I think I said fuck you from the audience. I was like, fuck you, man.
I think I heard that,
yeah. So when I went on stage, I was like, can we tell that New Yorker, that Stromboli looking piece of shit that he's not handsome? Oof. So now it's on record.
No, that's fine.
Straight from God's mouth.
Yeah, you know what you shouldn't do with the people that takes pride from their state. Tell them that you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, but if you do, own it. God damn it, own it, man.
Own it.
Yeah,
That's when you go to Austin, people say Austin's very PC and stuff like that. I go and I say terrible shit on purpose because they're all expecting. Because I'm nervous because San Antonio has a really bad stigma, even with a city as close as Austin, and so they're expecting all this terrible stuff. As long as you fucking own it with confidence, dude, funny's funny, man. So,
I mean, I read it in like Stuart Lee's book. I'm not sure if you know him. He's a British comedian, but he talks about like
it's like the fourth time that your voice is cracked.
I'm finishing developing. It's fine.
I have to shave some of my beard.
We'll make your balls drop.
He definitely says that like if you can impress an audience enough by how good you offend them, like they'll they'll respect you for it.
People like it. People,
as long as you don't backtrack, man.
Yeah, people like the thrills of it. Like, like some people really love to be shit on, like at a comedy show. It's like,
sure do.
It's like, you're gonna like.
But that's not. I mean, you got to have material.
Yeah, that's
material.
True.
You got to have the audience like you.
Yeah,
and then you have to like make your material seem like you're just off the cuff.
Yeah, that's the hardest part. Like, that's why I think people think stand up is easy, because it's like they watch they watch Dave fucking Chappelle do it, and like, he just seems like he's just making the shit up the top of his head.
Stand up is easy.
Turns out,
you know why it's easy? If you start in sketch, because all stand up comedy is lazy sketches, and I'll go on record and say it, and people hate it when I say it. But when you compare a 5-minute sketch that you have to produce, direct, write, get 5 people to have your set, your mind and your timing down, direct it, rehearse it, then do it on stage once, maybe, and then direct it on camera and all that sort of shit if you chose to do it on video. Or you can go on stage in a t-shirt, grab a mic and go, it'll be funny. It'll go, and it's fucking way easier than producing an entire sketch. And so that's where I take pride in a little bit of cockiness and started in sketch, because it's like I could just describe sketches and make a lot more money. We not split it with 4 other people.
We watched Michael Che like a month ago.
Michael Che is amazing.
It's amazing. And he decided to just get drunk. And he's like, listen, I got nothing. I'm just going to tell you about failed SNL sketches I pitched. For about 30 minutes, and it was fantastic.
Oh my
he just pitched
God.
the best sketches.
I take his Comedy Central clip that just got shared on online as a writing tool, because he was very slow paced, but he told, I want to say, like, it was a 5-minute set, and I want to say he told like 13 jokes, and there is laughs in his setup, there is laughs in his material, his punches didn't have very many callbacks. Like, it's just fucking every line, his laughs per second were fucking like 3, and I was just like, that's how I need to write. It's not the comic I am, but that's how the comic I need to become. I'm more of a loud, like, braggadocious kind of guy.
Something like I think of, like, like I get this is about my own jokes. I'm like, I don't think my jokes are that good, but I can sell them sometimes.
Yeah, he's got to sell them. Yeah,
and like
a lot of act outs and shit like that. It comes from a theater background, and then I'm a big Kinnison, Bill Hicks fan. They're both Texans, by the way.
Yeah,
and
both dead.
See that both dead. One by cancer, one by car.
Just like fucking Ron Goldman.
Yeah, that's what you get. That's what you get for loving your state.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, everybody dies.
Yeah.
But yeah, Outlaws of Comedy, man. Look it up. But yeah, they just fucking screamed at the audience and fucking had really strong beliefs, and they're 2 of my idols. And so,
and gave Mark Maron a coke addiction.
Did you?
No,
they did.
Oh yeah, you sure fucking did.
If only you could claim that.
And fucking
I'd love to give somebody a coke
Lenny
addiction.
Clark.
Yeah,
he has a bunch of stories on Joe Rogan's podcast about Kinnison days. Yeah. So,
hey, Jamie, can you get that clip for us real quick?
Yeah.
Our goal of this podcast is to get a Jamie.
We
who can
wanted
pull up the
Jamie
clip.
so bad.
Oh yeah, I won't mention it. Fuck it. Anyway, thank you guys. It's
Thank
been
you
a lot
so
of
much.
fun.
Yeah, we're wrapping up here. Let's just do one final round of plugs, right?
This was Larry Garza.
Thank you. Follow me at Larry Garza Comedy on Instagram. Follow Blind Tiger Laugh on Instagram, and at Comedia A Go-Go on Instagram. Please.
Thank you.
Anyway,
this has been another episode of 2 Mic Minimum
with your host Peter Clark Deutsch
and Sean Barry and the Goldmans. I'm sorry.